Now, let me switch screens over. Yo, what is good, my bros?
Yo,
What's
alright,
up,
first,
bro?
How are y'all doing?
first things
Good.
first, what was up with the 4 and 22 on my watch?
Oh,
Where'd you get that picture? Where did you
Wait,
get
is
that
that in the that's in the
Bro,
image?
look at the picture you pulled
Bro,
me.
I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch the 4 and 22.
Dude,
I guess my
was looking
graphics
at
designer
it.
just thought that would be pretty funny.
It's actually hilarious.
So, how are y'all doing today, man? How's everybody
Doing
feeling?
What's
good,
going
man.
on, Duo Ant?
Good.
Bro, I'm feeling amazing, dude. This thing has been crazy. The first 2 episodes have been amazing. I'm excited to get you guys on here. Kenny, I appreciate you coming up clutch, joining at the last minute. That was amazing. But I pretty much wanted to start this off by just saying thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for loading into the stream. And we want to get right into it. Dylan, why are you posting in the chat? Aren't you supposed to be in a
dude.
best of 11?
Got bailed on us.
Yo, is Dylan really posting?
He said,
in
sheesh,
the
my
chat?
B-boys, gotta scrim now. No, it's all good, Dylan. You'll get on another episode very soon.
Somebody said, Doug, lift your shirt. Make sure you're not wearing a wire. No wire, guys.
No,
We're
no.
good.
Wait, he could have that,
Maybe wearing
dude.
a wire.
Dude, that could be anywhere. It could be in his chair, in his headset. Who knows?
He's just screen recording off OBS right now. Come on.
But everybody
Next
seems
level.
pretty happy though, man. Like, how's scrim's been going? We'll start off with you, Methodz. Like, how's it been with the new team? How's everything been going, bro?
It's going pretty well, obviously. I think this game got like way more host dependent recently. I don't know, like I feel like every time I host, I go pause 20. We played Clay yesterday. He was going pause 30 every map, so I feel like on host we're winning. Off host it's just tougher. And then other than that, I mean, it's obviously frustrating because we made like a 2-person change. It's not like a 1-person like, you know, you do this because we did this formerly. It's like a 2-person thing now, so it's obviously frustrating, but we're getting there. We're playing pretty well.
I mean, I definitely think the game has become, I don't know about more host dependent. I just think no airborne makes it so you kind of have to slow down. So anybody who's using an AR on host is going to just be mowing people down now. But I don't know. Do you guys feel that it's become a little more host dependent in scrims? Has it been like that?
Yeah, 100%.
Really? I mean, I haven't been
100%.
scrimming, obviously, so I don't know. But I've played a little bit.
I don't know if it's a combination of the airborne or if like the team splits have gotten a lot different with the way that everybody's like the roster changes have happened, but it's I don't know, host dependent as fuck now.
And can you
Really?
turn mics up at all? Whole chat saying turn them up.
Yeah, I'll turn you all
Should I
up.
speak louder? Is that better?
No, I'll just turn you guys up. Here you go.
Alright.
Bang.
Dang.
All right, but
Yep.
Doug, how do you feel about that? Because I've seen you guys just absolutely demolish teams in online scrims. I think Dash you might have a hand in that one, but
I think the biggest thing is that we have a really good split and we're really hungry, so we focus on all our little gunfights. I do think connection does play a big part in it, though, and I think that now that tacticals aren't as important and it's all about gunfights, that host definitely does play more of a factor because you're getting in more gunfights instead of getting grenaded and dying from getting stunned from the side or something. So, I don't know. It's always going to be online COD, though. I mean, we've been doing this for like what 10 years now.
yeah.
Like it's always been the same thing ever since I can remember when I was playing in Black Ops 1. So.
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, like, you guys can tell, like, how your team's going to play on land, how you're performing, who's making the smart plays and stuff. So I'll start with Methodz, like, moving from Rise to TK, obviously that's like it's a completely new team for you. 3 people,
Yeah.
you've never played with any of them, have you? Have you teamed with anybody
I
on
played
that?
with Lamar in Black Ops 3, but like
Okay.
barely, so like not really basically.
I mean, yeah, you were like a kid back then. You're kind of a grown man. I'll say you're like a grown-up kid now. But, I mean, on this new team, like, how do you feel? How's the transition been? Are you still a little salty about being dropped? Like, how did that all go down and kind of bring me through that and then into the transition to TK?
All right, so I'm gonna start from the beginning from Birmingham. I tweeted you I'm not gonna be filtered on this, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how it went down.
Oh, I love it, bro.
So Birmingham, we got there. Obviously full of confidence. You know, we just won Atlanta. You know, our goal is to win the next one. I think at this point we're on like a 20 LAN win streak, going from the league to Birmingham. I mean,
Sheesh.
to Atlanta to Birmingham. So we're looking pretty hot. And we get to Birmingham, and there's obviously issues that you guys know about. You know, everybody's tweeting about it. And TJ immediately loses full. Like TJ lost all full at that point on. I feel like we had like 70% of TJ the entire tournament.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
we ended up placing third, so I mean that's obviously not bad. Obviously, but like we wanted to win, so that's like a little bit. I'm gonna just move on to playoffs. So going into playoffs, you know, we just placed third, but a lot of teams still considered us one of the favorites, and so did we. I think that we're you know, a really good team. We were a really good team, and so the first series we played at United, and even before that, like things just felt off. Like we didn't have the vibes that the Rise Nation team that won Atlanta have.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, it felt like Looney hated all of us. You know, he went from talking to TP in the pro lounge to sitting down to scrim, and
Yeah.
just literally being weird. You know, he was just being weird. I
He
don't
is
know how to
all of you
explain it.
guys, your entire team.
No, I mean, just how
felt
we
like
felt.
that, right? Yeah.
Like after our first loss to United, like me, TJ, and Gunless all agreed that like something was up. Like Looney was pissed about something, and like he didn't come to us about it at all. And so moving on, Ant, I sent you a clip. We play Red Reserve, and this is like the series that pretty much got me dropped. So I sent Ant the clip to show the stream just because Looney pretty much blamed this all on me. He said I'm single-handedly the reason why we got knocked out of the tournament, and he slandered my name to every single pro player. So Ant's gonna play the clip for you guys, and I want to know what you guys think about it,
Slander.
as well as the pros.
The
So
slander
Oh, man.
accusations are
Alright,
being thrown out
so
there.
Ant, show the clip. It's obviously a little delayed for me, but
Yeah.
let's show it.
Man, so this is the clip that I mean, I haven't even really watched it yet. I'm pretty excited to see what actually happened. But so you're saying that this based upon
Watch
this
the clip first. Yeah. So basically, before
No,
it
no,
starts,
you got to give a little
Looney-
background because a
Alright,
lot of people
so-
might not understand.
All right, so basically, this is the second map versus Red Reserve. If we win that, it's a 3-0. We move on, and we're going up against TK next, I believe. And I feel like my team at the time, if we had like momentum like that, we obviously could have won. They could have won, so I'm not going to go on to say that. But if we won this map, there's a way better chance my team's still together, or at least I'm still on the team. So pretty much after this play, Looney blamed me for the entire thing. You just like single-handedly, we got knocked out of the tournament because of me. So like that was like his first reaction. Then we had like a team meeting like way later. Like I figured like he watched the VOD, and he still refused. It was all my fault. He had nothing. He had no part of blame in this at all. So let's watch it and then we'll see what everybody thinks.
Is this a 1v2?
And guys,
Yeah.
before we get a like ahead of ourselves and start saying F Looney and stuff like that in the chat.
Oh, no, hold on.
Danny does a lot for our esport, man. He's a really he's a hard worker.
Hold
he
on,
goes
yeah.
hard. This is
I have to say, I have
This
nothing
is-
against the guys on Rise. I'm really good friends with TJ. I wanted my first ever championship with these guys. I'm very grateful for that. We were a very good team. Obviously, them with Slasher is still a very good team. I was not the reason the team was good.
Yeah.
They're still a top 4 team. They could be better. They could be the same. They're still a great team. You know,
Yeah.
Gunless is still the best
Could
player
be
in the world,
worse.
in my
And
opinion.
also,
They still have.
like, personally, when stuff like this happens, like I have a lot of things that I'm salty about in the history of my career. Clay has a lot of things. Doug has a lot of things he's salty about. And we all do. We've been playing for so long, and it's not too personal at the end of the day. It's more kind of like
It wasn't a personal move, man. Like Austin's
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah.
I understand where they're coming
So-
from. Although I do think Austin has not shown much more than I have in
I
this
just
game
know that-
personally. But
I just know
Wait,
that the
wait,
COD
wait,
community
wait.
has a mob mentality, so it's kind of like I want to make sure you guys don't get ahead of yourselves and spamming
Yeah,
that,
no.
man. I don't support
yeah,
that
the,
at all, guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
the F Looney in the
a lot-
chat's not cool, man. You know, he's a really good captain in game.
Wait,
But
before the clip
I
starts,
do
wait,
think
before
he
the clip
dropped the
starts,
ball
hold
at
on.
playoffs in that
Before the
regard.
clip starts, Zenny, I heard like the first day, like y'all showed up to scrims late, and that's why Danny like literally felt like he hated y'all, cause y'all literally showed up like an hour before y'all match, and y'all had no time to scrim. So like, what happened there?
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't think that was the issue at all. Danny was Yeah,
Well, I mean, if y'all
don't-
had no
I
time to
don't-
scrim, then like I would have
No.
been pissed too.
No, we had plenty of maps to get in. That was not the. He told us the reason why he was actually mad, and I'm gonna after the clip I'm gonna keep going. But
Okay,
I'll
let's
tell you
move
the
on
reason he was
into the
actually
clip.
mad.
Let's move on into the
Alright.
clip, all right? It's going to be a little delayed for you guys in the call, but here you go, stream. So, right now, as you guys can see on the clip, it is 1-0 Rise Nation. So, Zinni, this is what round was this winner's bracket?
Oh, this is losers, so this is to
Okay.
stay in the tournament.
So this is losers bracket. They're up 1-0 and they're up 5-4 in S&E. Once you go up 2-0, it's a common thing when you're a talented team like Rise that
You won the CTF
you're
too,
just,
so
you're
it
just gonna
would've-
you're gonna
it would've been a
steamroll. You're gonna
3-0.
3-0, and that's gonna bring you into confidence going into the rest of your matches. So this is actually a crucial map for them here. So I'm gonna roll a clip.
This is the reason I was dropped for the most part. I
Okay,
watched
so if
this
you guys
live.
can tell what happens, bombs down. Rise is in a 2v1. Danny gets the first, or 2v2. Danny gets the first kill. He should have just ran away here, I think. Lays down. He calls in a glide bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So guys, when you, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna rewind and replay for you guys. But when you call in a glide bomb and you get killed, your glide bomb kind of like goes off. Like you can't kill the person.
You
What
watch
he
on
did-
the mini map.
What
it
he
flies
just
off the
did was
screen.
equivalent to dropping
Hold
his
on.
controller and saying, "Kill me."
Let me explain it. So what happened was Danny gets that first kill, and he doesn't think that the guy's gonna be right behind to trade, I guess, and he kind of like blacks out and calls in a glide bomb. And what Zinni did was, it's a 2v1 at that point when Danny gets that kill. So Methodz, I call him Zinni, he runs away, tries to make sure he can't get two-piece, so pretty essentially like win the round if Danny buys him a little bit of time. So what happened here was, Joe runs up, Bang, 2v1 right now, 20 seconds left. Danny gets here. He could have ran away or finessed a little bit of time, but he calls in the glide. So not only did he waste that glide, he dies, puts Zini in a weird situation. You could have rushed. He still might have got
the issue,
off.
he put me in a spot where like there's 19 seconds left, and like Danny argued that I shouldn't have left arches, but I was just like, bro,
No, that's
if you
the
just play your life
perfect storm.
for 3 more seconds, it's over. Like,
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing...
the perfect storm of circumstances right there, because it's like he left you with just enough time on the bomb where it's like a weird situation to where if you immediately peek, then you get blamed for not running away. You run away, you get blamed for not peeking right away. It's one of those like 50-50 calls. That was just all started by
We're both,
Danny.
obviously, I was alive in the 1v1, so I'm at fault too. Like, we're both at fault, but he was dead set on the fact that it was strictly my fault, and it's not up for debate.
Well, I mean, the
And I
glide
disagree
should
with
have
that.
been saved regardless because you're up 5-4. So
Oh, well, not
if
to,
you're
well, yeah,
2v1,
they told us after the match that they had no idea we had streaks. If he just doesn't do that and say I somehow lost that round, you know, if he just ran away, which wouldn't have happened, then they had no idea. Not to mention the 5-5 round. Looney called in one of the worst fighter pilots I've ever seen in my entire career. So
it sounds to
TJ
me-
saw him at B and he called it over red to B bomb, and like he had an easy kill, and it was just absolutely fucking garbage.
it sounds to me like that. Like that was a miscommunication on everybody's part. That was just a failed round, and it was unfortunate. I mean, it was mostly Dan's fault, probably your fault for not really communicating as much, and he kind of acted a little bit too fast by calling that glide bomb. But so what you're saying is he went into the pro lounge, started telling people.
I was the worst player in the world. It was all my fault. That's it. It's not up for debate. And then, like, I was surprised. We talked about it later after he watched the VOD, and he was still dead set on it. It was strictly my fault. It's not up for debate.
I mean,
I agree. I have somewhat fault in that. Obviously, I'm alive in the clutch, but
So
he could have just ran.
When we
I
played
think-
you on that
my
same
bad.
map, right? No, you're good. When we played you on that same map, when Justin 1v3'd you guys to win, who's like wasn't Pierce getting blamed for that one? So do you guys
I was getting blamed for that one too. So I didn't send out the clip, but basically I was behind like that truck on the third hard point. You know what I'm talking about, in that corner.
Yeah.
I called him the glide, and as soon as the glide landed, Danny challenged, and I wasn't there like immediately for the trade, and he said he crossed back to the tower. So I rounded the corner like pre him in the tower, and like just so happens that he jumped top red as soon as I rounded the corner. And I got
Danny
blamed for
didn't
that
say
too.
he was absolute. He said he hit the corner at tower.
No,
'Cause I watched that clip back a million times,
Danny said
and
he's hurt, but he ran back towards
I
tower.
wish we
So
had
I
a clip
like,
for you guys.
yeah.
See, like if that was me, because I watched that with Dashy the
Justin
other
can
day.
probably link it and find it in the chat. I saw him in there.
Yeah, I remember that because I was talking about it with Dashy, and we're like, bro, if he's absolute, because we're just practicing like, I don't even want to say what we're doing, but we're practicing something, and he was like, bro, if there's a guy around the corner like that, just instantly hit that and just challenge him because he's so weak.
Okay.
And like the way you challenge it was like you let him get away, and then Gunless didn't even know he was top red.
Well, I thought Pierce was still top red. That's why like I didn't immediately run in. I was like, we're about to pinch this guy. So Pierce got to kill top red, then ran down to come back to our side.
And
So
then
like,
switched it up and went back up to top red.
yeah. So it
Oh,
was.
wow, that was a crazy round. So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like you guys just had like a lot of miscommunication. This was all at Birmingham, right?
No, this
Yeah,
was the playoffs.
No, this was the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to be on point at that event. So I mean, you think that's the primary reason, that whole conflict? Why? You
Well,
got
I
dropped?
mean, if we 3-0 red right there, and say we go on to beat TK next, we place top 4. I mean, our placings when we play together are third, first, third. Not to mention we have 14-1 in the league. Like we were on a 20-win streak on LAN. So like we had all the talent, we had the potential. Like obviously, like people know that we were a dangerous team when we were all playing well. So I personally feel like it's just like a lateral move, and like people consider me a top 3 AR, people consider Austin a top 3 AR. I just feel like it was a move based on, I guess, the circumstances that happened. And
Yeah.
I get that. Obviously, we placed 8th at the biggest tournament of the year so far. So, like I said, like obviously they can be the best player in the world best team in the world with Austin. The guy's a great player. I just don't think it's that big of a move. Everybody's saying, oh,
Yeah.
they're going to be way better with Slasher. You know, Slasher's dropping 50s, but when I was teaming with Doug, Ricky, and Naga, I was dropping 45s every map. You know, it's easier to do better when you're
Maybe
playing with people who aren't getting
the
kills.
way they felt was that the chem was starting to become broken. It was a little more downhill than uphill because a lot of times in COD, play Doug, Kenny, you guys know, like when things start going bad, it kind of like stays bad for a little bit before it goes back up. So I think what they were trying to do, if I'm looking at it from their perspective, was like maybe you weren't the sole reason things were getting bad, but maybe a fresh face with some good Call of Duty knowledge could like help them get back on track, back on point. But
Just
that could also
eliminate
backfire.
that valley.
Exactly, yeah.
Eliminate the possibility of being that valley, because you saw TK, they were looking like you guys were like about a month ago. They were looking like that in the beginning of the game, and then they hit that downhill valley, and then they kind of like they plateaued out and like kind of stayed like in that top 4 area for a little bit, top 6. But maybe that's what they were trying to avoid. But I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. I don't think you were underperforming or making plays that were costing them. It might have been like a friendship thing or something like that. But I think that's what their mindset was.
Clay, you play with Gunless. Like, you know how he can get. Like as soon as he, you play with Gunless, didn't you on FAZE?
No. I got traded for
we know how he can be though.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, I gotta say this too. Pierce was in the lobby with a bunch of pros and said, quote unquote, which is funny at the time. He said, "Oh, TJ, when TJ messes up, we don't say anything at all. That's TJ. You know, that's just whatever." Like what? Like that's funny in the moment, but like, bro, quote unquote replays was there. Like replays looked at me with his jaw dropped. He was just like, "What?"
I think what happened was, and I could be wrong here. This is purely speculation. But I think what happened was after Birmingham, Austin knew he was leaving Envy, and I think the one spot he was gunning for, if it wasn't going to be Optic or something, it was Rise, and I think he knew that he could potentially take your spot, and I think that kind of like created some disruption in the chemistry in your guys' team and the way they looked at you because they knew they could just get Slasher if things started going.
Nah, that's not it. There was another team that they were both trying to join that they heard of. I'm not going to get into that, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. My entire team got mind fucked. Period.
All right. Well, moving on. Before we spend too much time there, I also want to ask you, Zinni, how has the transition been to TK? How do you feel? Do you feel at home here? How's the squad? Do you feel like it stacks up as good as the Rise squad was? And do you feel kind of that same role that you were, like MVP on Rise? You're able to do your own thing and slay. And
I definitely feel I'm still confident. You know, we put together a team that I think can win, and obviously 3 of the players have won. Me, Kenny, and Lamar. Pharaoh was like the odd pick that people were like, "Whoa, like what?" And like the way we looked at it is, Pharaoh can beat a team like Optic and go off around the players he was around, and if you put him around us 3, we feel like he's going to perform really well. So obviously it's frustrating, like I said, with still little time, trying to go over a bunch of new strats and just going over a bunch of new things. You know, it's not easy to do it on the fly like that, but we're working with what we got. So far, we're looking pretty hot, and I'm excited to play.
Well, I wanted to ask you and Kenny. Kenny, you can chime in on this one. Like, how's Pharaoh been in scrims? Because I talked to his previous teammates, and they would tell me he wouldn't get online, he wouldn't be ready to play, he would be sleeping all day, he wouldn't go hard in practice, and he would get off early. So, like, pretty much everything that you don't want in a teammate is like the stuff he's doing in scrims. But he's good, so like it's like what do you do?
No, like we took the chance with Pharaoh because like he did team with his teammates like S&D Star, so it was like his best friends basically. So like him joining a team like us with like people that have won, I feel like he like came to the team with the mentality that he had to like drop all that. And like before we picked him up, I even called him like on his phone, like told him like he couldn't bring those vibes and like all that to like the table basically. So like in scrims lately, he's been only thing he needs to work on, like his gun skill there, everything he calls out, he just needs to work on like communicating while like making plays. That's everything else has been fine, and like he's been playing really well. I just think like I said, he just teamed with his best friends and just like thought like he couldn't get dropped basically. Like on our team, like he like has like, I'm not gonna say we're gonna drop him, but like he has like the like he's like vulnerable basically.
Perform, right? Like,
he has to perform. He has to be there. Like play
it's his
good,
first
like,
opportunity with like a top team.
Exactly, a team that can like win a championship. So like
not to mention. Search and destroy is important, obviously, and that's obviously like the main reason why we really wanted him. You know, he can do it in respawn, but like Search is like, it's the most important game mode. You guys know it, so that's also.
Have any of y'all, like Clay and Duck, have you guys scrimmed TK?
Scrimmed a lot.
So how's
have you, Clay? Going? You guys played him a lot.
So Clay, how's the scrims been going against them? Have you been waxing them? Like, how's it been?
I mean, we played on
unfiltered.
We played on my host, and I smoked him. That's the unfiltered.
So we had AW Clay was out.
Yeah, in full force. Dude, it was bad. I mean, you know how bad my host is down here. But like you said, it's one of those things where when Pharaoh's playing, like when the rest of the team's playing pretty good, he was playing pretty good as well, like around them. But like if anybody was like, if one of his subs, like if Kenny was having kind of an off game, like Pharaoh wasn't stepping into the role. But that could be just like uncomfortable with the system and uncomfortable with your teammates and stuff. But I mean, I honestly was looking at that whole team of poaching players too, depending on how my team worked out.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh and Decime were like on the top two of like my choices of picking people up, because like Methodz said, it's like search and destroy is the most important game mode, and if you get like that extra little help in search where you have somebody else that can 1v2, 1v3, 1v4 on a consistent basis, it's like that changes games so much. Like even just winning your 1v1s, like Pharaoh's one of those players that comes from a search and destroy background, and so he has all these like little routes in his head that he knows that like, all right, I'm gonna do this one route while you look over me, and I'll get one kill here at least. And that kind of you need that kind of player on your team. It's kind of the way that Zuma plays as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's a super big part of your team. You know, like especially in search and destroy. Like if you put him down into a 1v1, like Pharaoh, I guarantee is going to win like 70% of them. When you have somebody that's consistently winning you rounds like that, it's a huge game and changer.
He
Yeah.
also brings like weird strats, like
I also think it's go ahead.
not traditional strats. Like I said, like he's down to hit
What type
something
of
that
strats
you'd
does he
never
bring, City?
expect. I'm not gonna tell you what
You
kind of strats he brings.
Oh, whoa.
You'll see him soon.
I mean, to his benefit, or the benefit of the doubt, is that when you join a team, you have to like kind of fit into their system. You can't really like do whatever the hell you want like he was in his last team. And I know like Kenny's MVP, Lamar's an MVP. Like you guys won 2 events. Like when he joined
Kenny
that
is
team,
not an MVP,
Wait, I am
unfortunately.
not an MVP.
all right, Kenny's
should be, but he's
Kenny's a
not.
Kenny's a rightful MVP in my eyes. But anyways, when you join a team like that, you got to fit into their system and you got to kind of play around them. So I think the way he's probably thinking on that team is like, I got to do my best to assist these guys and make sure like Kenny's able to do what he wants, Lamar's able to do what he wants, and kind of just play the game the correct way and not my way. And I think a lot of the things that he was doing previous were kind of like his way. He had no limit on what he can do in his last team. So I'm excited to see what you guys can do. But how did that go down, Kenny, with releasing Theory and releasing Chino? What was the thought process behind that? And were you guys set on dropping both of them after playoffs, or like, kind of how was it going on between you and Lamar?
Okay, so once we won NOLA and stuff, we're fine. And then we went to Atlanta, and like I'll be honest, like we had no thought in like dropping Dylan. He dropped the 0.7 at NOLA, and we still won. So it was like he's fine. We just needed him to play the game more. So going into Atlanta was after like league, right? Yeah, it was after league. So like we like didn't play too well at league, and like after league he told us, he like shook our hands and told us that he was gonna play more, and like he did bad. And I was playing bad too, so I was like agreeing to play more. And going up to Atlanta, he honestly didn't play as much COD as he should be, as a pro player should be. And once again, he had a bad stat line. So like it was like the thought of dropping him was then, but that like we gave him the benefit of the doubt, like he was gonna play more. Yeah. And come Birmingham, he didn't start playing until like a week before the event. So it was like guy, like you gotta play more. Like
I want to touch on that real quick, because my
okay.
teammates have that issue with me quite a bit. So do you think playing more means like 8s ranked and like shit like that?
Exactly.
All day.
Okay,
if you're not playing 8s, you're not getting even close to enough practice or as good a practice as other players. Call of Duty, in my opinion, it revolves around you're playing 1 or 2 scrims a day. The second scrim's going to be a little bit lackluster. It's just the way it is. And if you're not playing those 8s, if you're not at least playing like an 8s every other day, you're not getting good enough practice.
Exactly.
Period, bro.
Because it wasn't the fact that...
That's what I believe.
It wasn't the fact that he like didn't know how to play the game. It was the fact that like he was losing important gunfights that he should be winning. So it's like
I know
all you do is keep shooting your gun every day and just keep that skill. Like him playing the game was fine. I think he plays the game perfect. He just loses like key gunfights versus like players, and like you shouldn't be losing those, and it just costs you a lot. So like, that was the reason.
Do you think like he was playing other games, or he was just not playing anything at
all?
Like,
I live in the house, and like he would like I would go to his room sometimes, and he would play different games, but like that wasn't even like the case. Like I played Fortnite before Atlanta, and I think I played really well. So like not playing other games, but like also he like I never seen him at the house, and like I will say he has other distractions that keep him from playing COD. So it's like you can't have those when like you're a pro player.
Do you think
hold on. Do you think
substituting
substituting 8s, like if you watch film instead, like say you're watching like an hour or 2 of film of just other like tournament matches, do you think that's a good substitute, or do you think you need to do both?
I don't think that's a good substitute, because like I said, like you not playing the game doesn't like you can't just keep your skill by not playing the game. You can't just like show up. I mean, like especially when you're playing bad, like if I'm playing good, like maybe I like slack off a little bit, but if I'm playing bad, I'm on the grind. Like there's no like other substitute for it.
I mean,
you can watch VODs, but like
if you're not working hard, like somebody else is gonna work harder than you.
Exactly.
Especially like, dude, when you're in the top spot, like, and you win 2 events in a row, people are going to be watching you. They're going to be thinking, I got to play more than this guy. I'm about to play as much 8s as I can.
Yeah.
You got to stay on top, bro. Like, you got to keep playing. And especially, like, if you win 2 events and you go to that 3rd event and you don't win it, that's the instant wake-up call. Like, we were just dominant. We're not dominant. What do we do in this time between this event?
Exactly.
Let's change all of that. And if that
Atlanta wasn't even our wake-up call, though.
If that didn't change after that event, and then it didn't change after the event after that, I can understand why you'd want to
Exactly. Yeah. So like we went into Birmingham and like nobody played fine. I mean we had like we said like the other like stuff happening. So it was like okay, but we're going into playoffs and it's like you're like he showed up every day because I mean he kind of had like he played bad. He kind of had the feeling in his head like he's gonna get dropped. But like it wasn't like that. We wanted him to play good at playoffs, which I think he did. But there was certain plays that like we didn't need him to like do, and he did it. And it's like you should be making those plays. So like we are in our heads after playoffs. Yes, we wanted to drop Dylan. Like that was the key. We were wanting to keep the 3 of me, Cheen, and Lamar 1000% because of the trio. And we felt like no other like if we were winning 3v4 basically. Not saying like he didn't do anything. Not saying that. I'm saying if we want to event with a 0.7, well like that's like the lowest KD like possible like winning an event. I'm pretty sure.
Sloss dropped the 0.8 and won COD champs.
Okay, but like 0.7, that's still lower. That's still lower.
So why did you just keep Chino and just get Pharaoh?
So we tried to keep Cheen.
One person at a time.
Oh yeah, we tried to keep Cheen, and we couldn't find a 4th, and we like asked Cheen like any 4th you want, like even this Sunday night, we were like asking like any 4th you want. He was like, I don't know, like I feel bad for Dylan and stuff like that. And we're like, we had no time for that. Like we gotta make this roster happen. So like, therefore me and Lamar were a duo. Yeah, me and Lamar were a duo then. Like we wanted to keep the trio, but like there was no 4th to pick up, and like. We knew Zenny was like a free agent, so we were trying to go for him too. Like, and we thought like Zenny brought like more to the table, not more to the table than Cheen, but like Cheen was playing inconsistent, but Cheen played like a beast at playoffs. So it wasn't like we wanted to drop Cheen, but like the Dylan drop was definitely like a key factor, and plus like other factors played into that drop because like him and Lamar clashed. Like they literally hated each other, and that's not a good. Like a lot of people say like
Dylan about that.
Yeah, a lot of people say you can play with players that you don't like, but I don't think that happened, especially with a team like ours where our composure was like our key factor to our clutch. So like we had no composure now because these two didn't like each other. So if one of them made a bad play, that person was yelling at that person. So
it sounds like there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know about.
Didn't know.
And I mean, I think you kind of just cleared the air a lot. Like,
yeah,
I definitely see your side of things. And to the 8s thing and playing COD, for Dylan's side is he might not get picked in H due to like the image he has, kind of. So I can understand where he's come from, where he just doesn't even attempt to get on. But I mean, I don't know about that because Doug comes into 8s and his image was bad going into this game, and he gets in a lot of series. So I don't know. I mean, I think if you come into 8s after you win back-to-back events, you're going to get picked regardless, and then after that. He should have been doing it right after, so I see where you guys are coming from. But
Doug has gotten way better though.
You cleared the air. Yeah, Doug has improved drastically.
Exactly. And what I would vote Doug.
I would vote Doug, and this is no gas because he's on the show, the most improved player of 2018. I would vote him that. I'd give you that, Doug.
I would say the same thing.
So
thank you.
So moving on a little bit though, we'll touch subjects on TK a little bit soon. I want to start with Doug, and then I'll go into Clay about your guys' new rosters. Doug. You just had your best placing this year, if I'm correct, with Lightning Pandas.
Yeah.
You had your most impressive run. You beat the most impressive teams that you've beaten this year. And you showed your true form on LAN. Well, not your final form, but your current true form on LAN in some of the matches. You went off. You got hyped. You guys played super good. You beat me. You beat FAZE. You took Envy to a Game 5. You beat Complexity. And then after that, a couple like weeks later or so, you leave to go back to the players that you didn't really find success with previously. Is Ricky and Blaswell. You team with them. Blaswell left you twice, and you're teaming with them again. But you do have Dashy, who's the new up-and-coming player, who's playing really good. He's got a lot of hype behind him. But it almost seems like the progression that you've found it within yourself and within your work ethic and your grind and kind of like building up what you've been doing so far this year. It looks like you're taking like a little bit of a step back with the roster that you just built. I thought you would stay with Lightning Pandas to try to qualify for the league. So walk me a little bit through like what that thought process was like for you for leaving that team and making this new roster.
All right, so we're savages, right? We're gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, I just kept it 100, right? Did I not?
No,
keep it 100. We keep it a buck on the stream, bro.
That's why I was laughing, dude.
All right, so I got to go back to when you said we haven't found success. Yeah, we got top 16 when it was me, Blast, General, and Dashy. And I think the biggest problem with that team, we had pool play versus the teams that got second, third, and fourth. It was Rise.
I don't like that excuse because if you beat them, they're not second, third, and fourth. But continue.
they were really close games. Every single team that we played, it was really, really close. Like we lost to, I mean, Envy smoked us when we got eliminated. But we just felt like having General and Dashy on the same team wasn't a good fit because they both play really, really slow.
Wait, we smoked you guys.
Whoa.
I'm gonna
You
ignore that.
250 to 35.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that anyway. So I felt like General and Dashy was not a good combination, and I was in like my beginner form. Like if I'm in like my mid form right now, I was in like my pre-beginner form back then.
Rick was
like,
a lot worse too back then. He's better now.
I think that all of us got a lot better. I think that I'm a lot better. I think Blast is a lot better. I think Ricky's hungry to win, and I think Dashy's only gonna get better. I think he's one of the best talents in Call of Duty. And I'm surprised that he didn't get an offer from a better team, or he didn't end up joining a better team.
No, he had offers. He just couldn't do it.
It just never went through. But yeah, I thought I was gonna stick with Lightning Pandas too. I went into Birmingham knowing that I had to fry, because if I didn't, my whole year was gonna be finished. I wouldn't be able to get on a stage 2 team. There was no way. So
I honestly think that Birmingham was Ricky's like best event in a long time. He played like an
Rick
animal,
went off,
dude. He smoked us. Like,
bro, he had something to prove. Remember, they were all gonna leave him.
He smoked us too. He went like I think it was like 38 and 20 on London Doc's hardpoint, and my team was like, dude, Rick was just mowing us down on AR, and I was just getting so pissed. I didn't even play bad, but I'm like, dude, I wasn't even getting gunfights with Rick.
Yeah.
And it's like after I'm like, he went off, bro. Like there's nothing we could do about it. And then,
I think Doug's new team is good though. I mean, like you said about Dashy, I kind of believe that too. I think with some good guidance, like I think Dashy's gonna be a really good player. I don't think Haggie's really the best player for him to play with, especially as an up and comer. But
it's too much baggage.
And it's just like a lot of BS that like anybody. I don't know. People in COD, every pro has an ego. Even the amateurs have an ego. So if you like, that's why like Chris Parasite is so hard to team with, is because of that. But back to his team, I honestly think Doug's like stock got so much better from that Birmingham event than going to your team on Cole now. Like good move on that part. Like I don't know how you finesse that. You got on a league team, dude.
Well, I didn't even finesse it though. Everyone thinks I'm a master finesser. I got these offers coming to me. Like I wasn't asking them to team.
Oh shit!
So what happened was we went into Birmingham. We played FaZe Clan. I wasn't gonna lose a FaZe Clan. I fried them.
Oh.
Absolutely fried them.
Bro,
Like
I was gonna show that clip of you getting hyped where you were like defusing the bomb, you were standing up. I was gonna show it on stream, and I was like,
His
nah.
face got so red, bro.
But dude, I mean,
I remember.
you beat them, bro, and then they won.
I just remember like we were top 40 in the losers bracket, and Javon wouldn't even talk to me. Like he put his headphones on right after. Like he got so mad, and Royalty was just raging about the monitor. So Javon puts his music on, and we're walking back, and it's like the walk from the venue to the hotel.
That's a sad
walk. We're like 5 minutes in this walk, and it's raining outside, and it's cold and windy, and I'm just trying to think of what I should say, and I'm like, I shouldn't say anything, but I'm stupid, so I ended up saying to Devon, I'm like, yo, you know, on that St. Marie, on the rotation, he's like, Doug, I don't want to talk to you right now. I was like, all right, man. So I just knew, like, if I didn't have a good event that, you know, it was going to look horrible that they just dropped Proto for me, and, you know, nobody thought that me replacing Proto was going to be a good move, but they lost to EG 3-0 the event before that. We ended up beating you guys 3-1. We beat FaZe Clan, like you said, we beat Complexity, so I thought I was a really important part of the team, and I thought that I showed my true colors, but I thought we were going to stick together, honestly. I tried to poach around for a couple of other options. I hit up Clayster. I wanted a team with United, but they didn't want to play with me. I hit up a bunch of other people too, actually, but it seemed like everyone was set on their own rosters. I mean, the number one roster I probably wanted was Slasher, Kenny, and Lamar, but that was not going to happen because Methodz got dropped, so Slasher joined Rise. And then I thought I was going to stick with Lightning Pandas, so I'm going home from India, and I'm on a flight, and I'm just like watching the flash on my tablet. I'm like 5 hours in this flight. I'm 5 hours in a flight, and I got like 12 hours left. And I just pull up my Wi-Fi on my phone, and I got like 7 different DMs. I got like 3 from Goonjar saying, "Yo, me and Matt are gonna go join with Ricky and Desi, and they're gonna come. They're gonna come to Lightning Pandas." So like, I'm sorry, Doug, but like you and John are gonna get dropped. Like it's nothing personal. We want to play with you, but it's a guaranteed league spot. And we don't want to like miss up on that offer.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do." So I didn't even respond to it because I had a DM from Ricky, and Ricky was asking me to team with him, Blast, and Dash.
Yo, Rick asked me to team with him too. This guy's the king finesser, dude. He had like 5 people on the back burner, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he said,
Dude,
all right,
hold on.
all right.
Doug said he hit me up. Doug texted me at 5 in the morning the day after Birmingham, dude.
Power moves. Power moves only.
Up, I was
His
like,
stock was the highest at that point.
Why is Doug texting me at 5 a.m., Doug? Come on.
And even better, that FaZe won the event, and like every map FaZe Clan played was London Doc's Hardpoint and S&D Ardens. Completely fried them on those 2 maps. Shut them down single-handedly. Like completely fried them.
Oh,
yeah, I watched that whole series. That series was a good series.
Yeah, it was fun. So I try to get on some better teams because my goal is to win champs. Like I want to win champs more than anybody. So I know that your team is super important to that, and I bring a
Yeah.
lot to a team. So I try to finesse it. And then Ricky hit me up, and I felt like Ricky was really good when I played with him in Methodz. I thought if we just dropped Naga for Pharaoh, we could easily be a top 4 team.
Yeah.
And I know Methodz probably felt the same way too, but his stock was really high, so he wanted to do an even better move.
Good
And then
move.
I felt that me, Blast, and Dashy were a really good team at 3 at NOLA, even though we got top 16. I just felt like if we got another aggressive player or somebody who was smarter that would fit better in our system, other than another slow AR like Jordan, that we'd be a lot better of a team. Because I just felt like the vibes were off, and like Dashy and Jordan had their problem with each other. They didn't like have respect for each other. They had a huge, falling out. So
Yeah.
when Ricky hit me back up, I thought Ricky was just a player that I could count on, rely on under pressure. And I think Blast and Dashy have a lot of talent, and I think that I could help them get to their final form and win a world championship. And also, the guaranteed league spot is nice. So,
Okay.
and Complexity is
Yeah.
an amazing
So-
organization.
You see what Chris said in the chat?
What?
He said Parasite, Ricky, Decimate, and Lacio were going to team on Ghost. However, Decimate left to Envy last second, and then Ghost rejected Blast.
New intel. Chris dropping
Ooh,
bombs in the
new
chat.
intel. Yeah, that's new intel right there.
Right.
Interesting.
Speaking on Ricky's like really underrated, man. Like he gets like a lot of flack, but like when I play with him, and even like watching him play, like he plays the game correct, and he can shoot straight. So
I want to talk
I
about
mean-
that too. So obviously, I brought up a lot of stuff about how Doug went back to team with people he didn't have success with and stuff like that. And the reason that move was actually a decent move. Oh, my cat just opened my door. The reason that move was actually a decent move was because all of them had their best events at the last event, besides like Dashy. I think that Rick played amazing at Birmingham. I think that Doug played amazing at Birmingham. Blast didn't play too bad, and then Dashy obviously he had a.
He lost to me, so
unfortunate running. But I mean, I don't think it was that bad of a move in retrospect because they're all improving. So and you can't really pass up a league spot. So
Yep.
I don't think it was a bad move at all because look at it, Lightning Pandas didn't
think
make
it's super
it through
good
the
move.
LQ. They didn't make it through the
Yeah.
LQ.
I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
was
really
gonna
high
say, like,
ceiling your new team.
I really
you
feel
guys-
like Lightning Pandas was really good, and I genuinely had so much fun playing with them because they were always good vibes. Like nobody had problems with each other. Every time we got on, we would just laugh. Like Javon's voice just cracks me up. There was a lot of talent there too. It's just I don't know, just the guaranteed league spot, and I know what I'm gonna get from the players, and I just think that there's a lot of upside to it.
So how was it playing with you play with Royalty, right, on that team?
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is it like watching his sense, dude? Like he hits some insane shots, right?
I mean, to be honest with you, bro, I don't even know what he does. Like I was sitting next to him. I was right next to him the whole time. Like when you're playing on land and like you're pushing a hill and like you look at your teammates to like see exactly where they are and like
Yeah.
specifically they're like I don't even know what he does, dude.
He's
I
just
don't know.
spinning.
He just runs around and
spinning.
kills things, dude.
So moving on, Doug, and thank you for clarifying that. I'm gonna ask you guys obviously some more questions soon, but let's keep the train going. Let's go on to Clay. Now you guys dropped Silly for Fellow. That was a bold...
Traded silly,
Okay.
acquired fella.
You dropped Silly. We're keeping it a buck.
We keep
We're keeping it a buck. So you guys dropped Silly. All right, you traded him. We'll use the proper term here. And he's been on the United for a while. I mean, obviously United released that cool little clip where.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, man. I mean, he was a crucial part of that team. It's kind of like the org. I think it was started like maybe a little bit before that team started having success. So he was there since the beginning. So I mean,
Yeah,
it was
the
definitely
very
hard to
beginning.
part ways. Like I know you guys have been thinking about it for a little bit, and I just want to know like how that went down because I know you guys explored a bunch of other options. There was a bunch of different things that could have happened, and I know there's things you can't share, and there's some things that you can share. If there's anything you're willing to let us know and tell us like some stuff that we don't know, or the
Yeah,
fans
I mean,
might not know.
Yeah, none of us really spoke on it too much. But there's obviously a lot of stuff I can't say. That's
Yeah.
kind of behind the scenes managerial stuff. But I'll try my best. It was just a team sit down talk thing. That's how I kind of always do things with my teams nowadays. So like no sketchy shit happens. Like
Yeah.
we all talk to each other and we're like, all right, we actually sat down and went over options. We're like, all right, if I get dropped, who could you get to replace me? Like who's a feasible trade? And went around all four of us, did that between us all. And we're just like, weren't really satisfied with any of the teams that we could come up with. And like that was saying like for any of us. And we couldn't figure out anything that really worked out that we liked. So then we decided to keep playing. Obviously, we still had to play the rest of our week in the league. We had to play Atlanta, and we had to play Birmingham.
Yeah.
So we just kind of improved, and we actually started getting a little better. Still kind of having those same issues persist that ended up losing us games. And so after playoffs of getting top 6 for the 5th time as a squad,
That's rough, dude.
like we've gotten top 6 5 times
You're
as a
right
squad.
there, dude. That's like one winners match.
I mean, we were two round 11s away from beating TK in both Dallas and NOLA. Like, you know, we had options. Like we had like chances at champs even last year. You know, we had chances. So then when the time came after playoffs, we're like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's figure out what we're doing. And we just kind of, me and Burns and Brian Saint talked about it a lot. And we figured that the pacing was the issue on our team. It's not that somebody was too fast or somebody was too slow. It's that we didn't play close enough together in terms of pacing. And so we thought the main pacing issue was in our like main submachine gun players. And so between Prestini and Silly. And so we're like, all right, we want to play faster, so we need to get rid of the slower one. And that's kind of where Justin ended up coming in the picture, because he was playing a more like slower sub.
Yeah.
Now that he's on EG, we've scrimmed them twice now, and I've been watching the stream a little bit. He's playing so much better and at such faster pace.
And
it's like, dude, it's super. Yeah, I know how it is. It's super cool to see though, and it was nothing personal with him either. It was just, we wanted to kind of to like speed up the pace a little bit. We wanted somebody that was a little better at search and destroy, was a little more consistent in search and destroy at least, and a little better communicator. Those are the 3 things. Like, he's gotten a lot better at calling out, like, since I first started teaming with him, or even like, I mean, I teamed with him back in MW3. Like,
he was a mute.
Yeah, he was a mute. He was a mute.
Last year, dude.
Yeah, and he got better at that, a lot better. He's like way more motivated and stuff. So it's just, we wanted somebody that was just a little more consistent in search and destroy, a little better of a communicator during like gunfights and like shot calling and that kind of stuff. And that's how we ended up acquiring Fellow. We went around and looked at a bunch of other options, and in the end we kind of decided that, you know, Tyler has wanted to kind of team with me, and I wanted to team with him for a little bit now. I think that he brings something in search and destroy that is honestly really impactful, and his communication and his good vibes and that kind of thing, everything plays a part. So we've been honestly playing a little bit better. Obviously it's still learning curve of a new team, but
something fresh is obviously nice too for a team like you guys. And I mean, there's some speculation obviously within the pro scene. We've all talked about it, like if him playing fast with Prestini is going to be beneficial or not as good. So we don't know. It could be really good. I guess we'll see coming up at this event. But I think the honeymoon stage is a good thing for you guys. You've had the same team for a while. You guys are kind of going like a little bit downhill at times. And then another factor that people don't ever take into consideration is that Fellow is taking this opportunity and he's going to go hard. Like, he's been on a team that has been performing, and people don't understand how important it is to have somebody who appreciates the opportunity that you're blessing him with. So if he takes it seriously and he gets back to the form that he can truly be, I think you guys can be really good. I'm excited to watch you guys.
We talked to him about it. Oh, go ahead.
He definitely brings communication.
Yes, bro. Motor mouth,
if there's anything.
The motor mouth, dude.
Yeah, that last team he was on must have been stressful for him. That must have been a horrible few months.
Yeah, we talked to him about it, and I was like, dude, you realize we blessed you with a league spot? He's like, I know. He's like, I know. So he's going 100%. Just even something that, like, I guess people don't think about that maybe you watch and you'll learn something, is that like even having the new voice in the call, like, you know, like another voice, like fresh voice, like it actually does a lot for just like your mental state, your like motivation to get on, just like having a new fresh face to learn with and go over strats with. And then they also bring something to your team that like maybe he's actually taught us a few things that he was like, oh, you didn't know this, like you can go and do this and then this, and it's like, oh, so they bring like more intelligence and more. Every team gets better like that. When every team roster changes like this, that's when every team gets smarter, because everybody just shares all their knowledge.
And Fellow is like, he's a passionate player. He puts all his passion into this. So we'll see how that goes. And I asked you how you guys have been playing. You said you've been playing well. I want to ask Kenny and Methodz, because they said that they've been scrimming you guys. How does it feel when you're playing them? Are they playing the game correctly? Has Prestini been performing better? Has Prestini been performing better now that he has Fellow with him? How's their team chem been? RC still going off?
Well, I think Prestini has like insane talent. Like, he's always had insane talent. Like, his shot and his reaction time has never been the issue, and it never will be. It's just his pacing was definitely a little questionable for a while, but I feel like he's definitely improved that. Like, we played him at playoffs and he played great. You know, he played really well. The felony move, I guess we're gonna have to see. Obviously, we know Tyler is, you know, fast, but I was definitely personally surprised when you guys picked up Tyler. I didn't think Tyler was in any of those talks, just because like you hear COL and you're like, oh, Dashy, Haggy. You know, that was like the two people you thought of. There wasn't much talk about Tyler, but we've seen Tyler perform. He obviously can show up. And...
if you look at that team though, like we couldn't have picked up Haggy or Dashy.
Oh no,
because,
of course,
you know,
of course.
so.
Yeah.
I think you guys made a good move based on the situation that you guys were in.
I mean, judging from the scrimming them, it's hard. Like I said, Clayster was hosting, going 50 and 25. So there's not much that we can really gauge from that. But
again,
I mean,
yeah.
I think this tournament's going to prove everything. I think this tournament's going to see what everybody's all about.
And there was like 100 potential rosters, by the way. There was like literally
there was a lot.
10
And there was
different
gonna be
teammates I had all in 2 days.
There was gonna be like 2 to 3 odd men out, and I was one of them. Still pissed about it. But moving on.
But hold on. I gotta say, I think RC is one of the best players in the game.
I think so too. I think if he ran main AR, he'd be the best player in the game.
I don't know about that.
Give it to him, dude.
All right, guys. I want to change subjects a little bit. Now that we've talked about all your guys' roster changes, I know you guys are excited to go to the event and stuff. Let's talk about the groups. I'm gonna pull them up on the screen here for you guys. One moment. And I want to talk about these pools. So obviously, you guys don't know which relegation team's gonna be in your group, which is gonna shake things up a lot because EG's looking really good in scrims, and whatever pool they get in is probably going to be the pool of death, so to speak. I mean, pool A is pretty scary, but let's start off with pool A. FaZe, Rise, and Echo Fox. That is a crazy pool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that's still clear cut to me, though.
I think it's FaZe and Rise.
Yeah, I think FaZe and Rise are still
I don't think it's clear cut at all.
What?
I think Echo Fox and Rise will go at it. I think Echo Fox and FaZe goes at it. Rise takes one, but like I think Echo Fox can beat FaZe. Not easily, but I think
FaZe
it can
is better
happen.
at search. I
just
they
think
are
FaZe
better
has
at
so much
search, but like,
composure.
Hold on, one person. Go ahead, Doug.
I think FaZe has so much composure. Like they've been through it. I feel like when you win an event, it's really hard to just completely shit the bed the next event.
Bro, watching Chris win that event was hilarious.
I know. I don't know how he does that, but I really think that it's gonna be FaZe and Rise like top two 100%.
So
I don't think any relegation opens can even contend either.
I don't agree with that for the sole fact of I think this meta might hurt FaZe a little bit. No airborne.
No airborne, no expeditionary stuns.
Yeah, I think it might actually affect their team in a negative fashion. And also, they haven't been performing well at the open events. And I want to say that's gonna change, but I just don't think it's gonna change, dude. Like
you got a point.
Like I really don't think that's gonna change. And I think that Echo Fox is hungry, dude. Like I've been actually sitting in with them in scrims and like helping them and stuff. And I think that they're pretty good, dude. Like.
This is how I see it.
Donnie has the fire. He's playing Slasher, and him and Slasher like.
Oh shit!
That's gonna be fun to watch.
It's really fun.
I heard Donnie say this word for word or quote unquote yesterday. He said, "Yo guys, don't worry. I got you in that Rise series. Don't trip." That was
I can't wait to watch that one. That's gonna be good.
I'm pretty sure Donnie's been running flex. I'm pretty sure, so I do think that helps him a lot. I think that he's really good with an AR when I've seen him play and played against him. So I think he's definitely personally gonna be better with that. I also think that him joining a new team like this is really good for him, just personality-wise. Obviously, that MD team, like they had such high hopes together, just like all the other pro teams thought, like they were supposed to be really good.
I mean, did you see that stream the other night? He looked hella happy.
Oh man, that guy, dude, Donnie is absurd. Donnie's hilarious.
Whoever starts off that, like, if Equifax just comes out and like say they play FaZe and they win like a 3-0, 3-1.
Right.
They could just take that whole pool.
Honestly, I think it lays on Bryce because I don't think Bryce is a bad player. I just think he's really inconsistent. If he plays consistent like how he should, I think they easily like compete with FaZe.
I know Bryce had a good event in Birmingham. I looked at his stats and he was telling me he was doing really good in hardpoint. He was dropping a lot of kills in Birmingham. So
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if that was having Naga on the team because maybe Naga doesn't get as many kills, but I know if you have confidence, you play better. And if Bryce said that he was playing really good, I'm sure he's going to be confident going into a new event too.
So do you think that, like, we kind of touched on FaZe being bad at open events, do you think that because of their lackadaisical attitude, that's why they're not good at open events? Because you have to be so like up and at them the whole time?
I just think they didn't put it together until this most recent tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you think?
No, I think it depends on Priesta, man. Like Priesta can be a top 3 flex in the game,
dude,
but he's inconsistent. Like that's the issue.
Shredding,
like when Preston's playing well, that team is so hard to beat. But he's not always playing that great. That's the issue. So I feel like it's all on Preston. Personally.
All right, so who do we got for the top 2? I'll start with Clay. What do you got? Quick answers.
I'm taking FaZe and Rise.
I got Rise number 1, FaZe number 2.
Yeah, same.
Same as them. Rise
What about
number
you,
1,
Kenny?
FaZe number 2.
I got Rise and I got Echo Fox number 2.
Pushing it up.
I got Rise and Echo Fox as well.
Oh damn.
Tommy's about to
Alright.
be motivated. All right, moving on. Moving on. We'll move on to Pool B. We got Optic Gaming.
He just said, "Fuck you, Kenny."
We got Optic Gaming.
Wait, Tommy, you're the GOAT. Nice try.
Optic Gaming, Team Envy, Unilad. Now, we don't know what relegation team is or the open bracket team, so we're just going off based off those 3 teams. I'm thinking Optic Gaming is going to have a really good time in this pool. They're going to just world star 3-0 both teams. Unilad just made a roster change and they're playing against a team who's been fairly dominant for about 3 years now.
Wait, who'd they pick up?
They picked up, I think it was Alex. They dropped Moose. So they're not going to have
Moose
that
with the
much.
Vitality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, actually, I think Moose just made another move to where? Oh yeah, him and
Yeah,
Mark B, him and
Moose
Mark
and Mark B went to Vitality with Mauls and Whalers.
B. Yeah, so I think the Envy and Unilad match will be competitive. I don't think either of the other matches will be competitive. I think Optic is just gonna smoke them. I think that if we want to see that pool be interesting, we need EG to fall in that pool. We need them to make it out of relegation and fall in that pool, and it'll be kind of a competitive one. But I think you guys all agree with me on that one.
I think
Yeah, 100%.
people are sleeping on the Envy team. I feel like it's a move that could help out a lot because
I don't think.
I mean,
yeah.
here's how I think of it. I think Sheen's really good, and I think Decimate's a sleeper pick just like Pharaoh is. He's really good at search, and he's performed really well. I've watched all VODs. Like he's a good player, and I think Kyler is really going to thrive now. I think Kyler without Donnie and Austin. Like, there's going to be no negative vibes really with Sheen, obviously. Sheen, just the happiest kid you'll ever meet.
How can you say that somebody's going to thrive without Austin, though?
Okay, this is
He's
how.
so good. You know what
Wait,
I mean?
yeah,
So
dude,
but
good.
like he didn't let him play how
that
Kyler
was
plays,
such a
though.
toxic environment for Kyler. Like,
I
Kyler
mean, maybe
is...
we'll see a FAZE situation with the kind of laid-back attitude that Replays has. Maybe it'll be good for, like, Hook and Classic. Maybe that's how Chill is. So we'll see, dude. But, like, from the outside looking in and, like, seeing the trend in the history of COD, like, they could be pretty good, but I just don't have high hopes for them, bro. Like, I believe in them individually as players. I just don't believe in them as a team. It's just weird.
Yeah,
I respect
that's
that.
the same thing with me. Like, I think they're all very individually talented, but I think looking at that team, it's just you look at it and you're like, that's a weird team. And
That is a weird team.
sometimes those can work, you
But
know.
they don't work. Most of the time, they don't work. So
Yeah, most of the time they don't. And then Unilad, dude. I mean, I was reading in the chat a little bit right there. When I played, he was on Purple before, right? GGA Purple.
who, Alex?
Alex, yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
I'm pretty
until
sure. I'm
the
pretty
moment
sure
I
he
saw it.
was. And the only experience I had
Yeah, I
with him
don't
was
know
when we
who that
played him at Birmingham, and he was like, all right, not the best, but a decently average player. But I heard as well that he's a really big online player, like super big online player.
And Moose
so,
was solid.
yeah, Moose was solid. I don't know. I honestly think, like, I don't know. I liked that Unilad team before, dude. I think they were good, and they just had to work out a couple kinks to be like, competing for top 4 at events.
It also depends because a lot of time when teams make these roster changes, they pick up like a raw, like talented, like Slayer player, and Scraps is kind of like he's a Slayer dude. He doesn't really like to be objective oriented. He likes to run around. I've watched him play a lot, and I don't know how that kid plays. So I'm just purely speculation. If they made a roster change based upon what I just said, that's going to be a weird dynamic.
Apparently, Alex placed top 12 at Champs last year.
If he was on the Infused team last year, I played him last year too, and I just don't remember it.
So what we going with the top 2 for this poll? I'm
Optic
going with
Envy.
Optic and
Envy.
I'm going Optic and whatever team makes out of relegation.
Yeah, that's the exact same as me. Optic and the relegation team, dude. That's who I think
Nah,
make
that
it.
relegation-
I think it depends.
Bro,
I think
hold
it
up.
depends who
That
it is.
relegation
Like
team is going to be
EG, I would
feeling
agree.
themselves. They're going to be feeling themselves. They're going to come in hot, and they're playing 2 like new teams that are fairly average, like on paper at least. I think that relegation team's going to come in there and
See, like,
do work, dude.
You know how it works, right, Ant? With how like the teams get put into the pools for relegation.
No, I'm actually unsure on that.
So
Fill me in.
the top 2 teams in relegation from winners go to Pool C and Pool D randomly. So like let's just say Mind Freak's on the top side, EG's on the bottom side. So they come from the winners. Those 2 teams are basically gonna flip a coin and see. All right, Mind Freak, we're gonna flip a coin. If it's heads, you're Pool C. If it's tails, you're Pool D. So
They better hope they don't get Mind Freak or EG.
yeah, because it looks like Pool B is like by far the easiest pool out of all these pools. I think we could all agree on that. So it might be beneficial for them to lose their match and then win the next 2. Because personally, I'm looking at these teams in this qualifier. I don't even think it's going to be competition. I think it's going to be a joke. Like, I think these teams are horrible.
Nah, you gotta take that
Oh,
serious, bro.
So
Yeah, no.
if I'm on like EG and I lost to Orange, I wouldn't even be stressing because you're going to be playing two teams that aren't that good, and then you have a 50-50 chance of being in one of the easiest pools at the tournament. So
You can't take that chance, Doug.
Yeah, you can't take that.
of
You
course
just
you don't
can't.
take the chance. I'm just saying if you did end up losing to
It's
Orange,
not a big
then
deal, yeah.
you got to feel that mindset moving forward. You know,
I
like
lost
you
to
got to
Orange
go
in
in.
the finals, man. Feels bad. Feels bad.
All right, moving on. So I think
Spoofs
we
in
all
5.
agreed. So me and Clay went Optic relegation. The rest of you guys went Optic Envy. I want to move on to Pool C. Reckless is gonna be Complexity now.
Right?
So we got
Oh,
LG,
me and Doug are in the same
EU,
pool. Let's go.
and Complexity. Now this is a good pool for Cole to be in because they could show their true colors here. They're gonna be playing LG, who's been top 3 all year, arguably top 2 team all year. Then they're gonna be playing EU, top 6 team all year. A team that just made a change, who's looking really good. So
Right.
if they can upset one of those teams, I think it'll solidify Complexity as a force that's going forward in the season. What do you guys think is going to happen in this pool? I'll start with Doug. Doug. We go to you next, Ant.
Well, I think Luminosity is going to be the clear-cut favorite. They deserve to have that #1 spot. They've already won an event. They've been, honestly, besides for Rise, the most consistent team all game long. So,
Okay.
I mean, they're definitely one of the best teams. We're going to play them in the first match of the tournament. We scrimmed them online once. We split maps with them. So I have a good feeling. I played Luminosity twice on this game so far, and I felt like I performed really well versus them. And Dashy played amazing versus them too. So I don't know. I'm really hopeful about the series. I think that we could easily win the pool if we come out and we're hot and we're focused. I'm going to be extremely focused at the event, and I'm not going to let anything stop me from doing the best I can for my team. So I feel like we're going to win the pool. But Luminosity is probably going to be the hardest team, and E United as well. Like, you know, people say that
matches anymore, dude.
there's no easy matches for sure. Like all the pool play teams are going to be really, really good. So E United made playoffs. They got top 6 at open events. You can never count them out, and they just made a roster change. So you can't really predict anything. You just got to go in and play.
I mean, what I would say about this pool is that it's going to be tough for you guys, Doug, simply because you guys, none of those players have really been like playing these top teams consistently. I guess Rick, but the rest of you guys haven't really been playing them consistently. And I think that going right into pool play, having not played on like that Wednesday or Thursday, besides like maybe 1 or 2 scrims on land, if you can get everybody there, you come in a little cold and you don't have as much like experience in this game on that Friday coming in. So if you guys come out cold and lose that first map to whoever you play, like you said you play LG first, right?
Yeah.
You guys come out cold and lose that first map, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be tough for you guys to bounce back. You're gonna have to you'll be able to bounce back, but you're gonna have to really get their heads on straight and like bring it back. So you guys gotta come out and win that first map, bro. Like if you guys beat LG, I think you could beat EU after that. But
I mean, I'm not really worried
If you can beat LG, you can beat anybody.
I'm not worried about any of that. I feel like, you know, I play more Call of Duty than any. I feel like I play more than anyone in this game, and my team grinds a lot too. So I'm not really worried about saying, "Oh, we lost the first map, our event's over." I'm not flying all the way across the country, and I know my team feels the same way.
It's a
We're not
trend.
flying to Seattle to lose a map in a hard point to one of the best teams
It's
and
a
say, "You know what,
trend,
we're
though.
giving up."
It's a trend, dude. A lot of times when like LG's going to that match, you're like, Complexity, let's see how this goes. And if they smoke you guys in that first map, they might bring that momentum into the rest of the maps. But I do have belief in you guys. I just don't. I don't know how well you guys are gonna do. So I'm gonna go with LG and EU. Complexity can make a run, but I gotta pick LG and EU at this point in time. Ant, what were you gonna say?
So I'm gonna say LG and EU, but I do want to say that I think Rec or COL can beat both those teams if they win the
can.
searches.
Anybody can
Like the thing is, like CTF in this game, like you get 1-4 down, get a pull out, get streaks. Like even the best players in the world, it's hard to counter that. So I'm gonna say LG United. I think Complexity is like the sleeper pick for the entire tournament. I feel like they still have Blastful, Rick, and Dashy, who are really good at search. Doug's good at search. So I think if they win their searches and can even take a respawn off both those teams, they can win the series. So
If I were to say like Complexity got a pretty decent pool, I would say like Rise and Red are probably a little bit tougher matchups than EU. So I mean, I think their pool is a little bit better than what they could have drawn. But Clay, what are you thinking going into this pool? Like, what is your guys' mindset?
I don't know, man. I just like we played Luminosity so much this year. I think we played them like 5 times this year.
It's been close, right?
And yeah, every one of them's been close. Like they haven't really blown us out. I think we beat them at the first event, and that's the only time we've actually beat them. But the rest of them have always been like 3-1 or 3-2s. And I think I just know the players on LG so well that It always kind of comes down to those like really important moments, like at the end of a game. Like I remember this one series I lost, this game 4 London Docks, where I got smoked by John like 3 lives in a row at the end to lose rotation. And so it's like stuff like that. I think honestly, if we play our game, like every time we play him in search, it's always like 6-5, 6-4. Like it's always like a really close search game. I think if we just like don't let John go off with the sniper in search, then we're gonna win. Like at playoffs, we played him on Gibraltar hardpoint and beat him on it, which is something that we've kind of failed to do all year long. So I think we're improving, and I think it's going to be a tough match. It's kind of a toss-up, and then obviously the complexity team, they've kind of been giving us trouble all year as well. I mean, even just kind of like every iteration of that team has always been kind of hard for us to beat.
Yeah.
Because of how good they are in search and destroy, and then they just like they'll take like St. Marie hardpoint on us or something, and then the series is over. So I'm hoping that we just come out and give it our best shot. We've been practicing search a lot. I think this whole pool comes down to search, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that 100%.
So who you going with, Clay? You and who?
Shit.
Us and Luminosity,
Nah,
I guess.
Okay. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
I think it goes Luminosity 100%, but I think I go Reckless over E United only because of S&D. Like he said, S&D, but I feel like Complexity takes a hard point. If they take a hard point, they win the series 100%. If they take a hard point, I don't see them winning the CTF, but they take a hard point because I mean they have the best, like some of the best S&D players on the team, and I don't think that E United is really good at game 5s. I'll be honest with that.
So Kenny, what do you think about the dashy fellow? Like they know what each other do. I think,
Right.
Like, what do you think?
I don't think that has anything to do with that.
You don't think it's gonna change anything?
Nah, I don't think that changes anything. I just think that if they go game 5, Reckless 100%
Bro,
wins.
I mean, I 1v2'd you game 5 with only a pistol.
Oh, no.
I gotta
Oh,
look at the
wait.
back.
Wait, me?
Yeah, you were the last kill.
Yeah, but did you win?
I mean,
Doug's
that
doesn't
wasn't my fault. That wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
Collided for the L. Come on, man.
Collided for the L.
Yo,
Yeah,
who's
well-
banning everybody in my chat? What's going on? All right, chill out,
I know
guys.
people are going nuts.
Yeah, it's going crazy. I'll figure it out later, man. But everybody just be entertained, have some fun. Don't be attacking people in the chat. But so Kenny, you're going with LG and Reckless
Complexity.
Yeah.
or Complexity?
Yeah, Complexity,
excuse me.
yeah.
Interesting. So I want to talk to you guys about the teams that made it out of OQ. Mind blown.
Are we doing pool
Mind
D?
blowing.
Actually, we skipped over pool D. Excuse me, sorry.
Come on, bro.
Kinda host you.
The chat.
Damn.
The chat kind of got to my head there. I was reading it, losing a little bit of full. But
Well, I think Doug's at my A right now. He
no,
just
back.
disappeared.
He's back. Moving on to
back.
pool D. Excuse
Sorry
me. I'm
about
sorry
that.
for that chat. I was focused on the chat. We got TK Red Reserve Splice. What an interesting pool, dude. Red and Splice have kind of went back and forth for that #1 spot in Europe over the year. Right now, Splice is looking like they're playing really good. I don't know, dude. This is like the toughest pool to call in my opinion.
I think it's the most balanced pool out of all of them.
I think it depends what Splice shows up. Like we've seen second place Splice at the first tournament of the year, then they place top 16. So it's just like what Splice actually shows up, the top 2 one or the top 16 one.
Man, dude, I gotta throw TK in there. I want to say Splice, dude. I want to say TK and Splice make it out of this pool, but like I can never count Red out. Like Red usually shows up on they usually
Red's
show up
really
on
good,
Sundays. Man. So I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say TK and Splice make it top 2. Red gets 3rd, and then they make another losers bracket run. All right, that's what I think is gonna happen. I think they make a
Again?
decent run. Dude. I think they'll do it, bro. I don't know. I think Splice is gonna have the edge. I think they're gonna beat Red in the pool play here. I think TK is gonna be playing pretty good. I have a little bit of faith in them, man, and I think it's gonna be them 2. I'm gonna go TK 1. Splice 2, Red 3. What do you guys think? Ant,
I have faith in TK. Sorry, go ahead, Ant.
I mean, I have to say my team, so I'll say my team, and I'm gonna say Red.
Doug?
I agree. I have faith in TK. I don't know, like Red and Splice both got second at what 3 of the events so far in this game.
Yeah.
Like Splice got second at 2, Red got second at 1. I just don't know what to expect from them, dude. Like Splice was on fire last event. I thought they were gonna win it, and they got second. Okay, good. But the event before that, they got top 16. So they're like a bunch of wild cards to me. I definitely think one of them is gonna make it out. I don't think the relegation open team will.
Airborne is gonna hurt Joe on Red. No.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with TK and Red. It's literally just a toss-up to me.
That's the thing, though, dude. Like Joe, like you mentioned, Joe. Like if Joe's playing well, Red is very hard to beat because he's pretty inconsistent. So when like that guy against us in finals, Atlanta was dropping like 45s, like he was going off. So when he's playing well, I think that team is just much harder to beat.
Kenny, I want to hear your thoughts about this. This is just,
Okay.
This is obviously the teams you're going against. So what do you think?
Right. I obviously put my team at 1. I'm gonna go red just because of I don't know. I think reds. I don't see. I think Spice is really good, but like when they did play second at the against us when they played us, Tommy did have the event of his life. I would say. I think he
Okay.
played the best event like ever. Since I've been watching, he played the best event. If Tommy plays like he played, then maybe they beat red. But I see it as like clear cut, like us red. I mean us red, yeah, us red, 100%. I don't think Tommy plays the best, like how he played at what was that, Dallas? Yeah,
Yeah.
Dallas. So I don't
Okay.
see him playing that good. If he plays that good, then they beat red. If he doesn't play that good, then red wins.
This is probably the most competitive pool, just because I think Splice, like I would say pool A, but I mean I think Splice is like in a tier above Echo Fox at the moment, so I think this is a little more competitive. Hey, what are your thoughts about this pool? What do you think's making it?
I think TK got significantly worse with the roster changes,
Ooh.
so I'm thinking red is gonna be number 1 and Splice number 2.
That's what I love
Yeah,
to
he only
hear,
said that.
spicy
He only said that
content.
because of my Game 5 comment.
Think so? I think
1000%.
Clay's a pretty honest
No.
guy. I think he actually believes it, dude.
We keep it 100 on here,
Keep
right?
it a buck.
I think
Yeah,
that
okay.
I
Keep
think
it
that
a
you
buck.
guys are seriously gonna miss Chino's presence on the map. I think he did a lot more for you
Right.
guys than you think, and I think that Ann is a completely different player than Chino, and I think that y'all are gonna have some growing pains before you get good. I just think at this tournament y'all aren't gonna do good, but I think y'all will be better. Like
think
by the
the
time stage 2
Lamar-
comes
Okay.
around.
Lamar and Methodz might have some trouble pacing on the map together. I think they're both.
We'll see.
Nah, y'all are slow, bro. I don't know. Y'all will be
I
good.
don't think so,
I
bro.
pick you guys to make it out. But I think when you do make it out, you guys are gonna have a little bit of trouble if you play an LG or a FAZE or an
Alright.
Optic. I think it's gonna be tough.
I mean, the thing is, like, you guys may be right. Like we made a team that we think's gonna work, and we're hoping it works out. You know, obviously more practice is better, but I mean, we have high hopes. You guys, you know, you can be right. No one knows. Like all these teams, they're all question marks right now. So
Yeah.
I respect your opinion. I got nothing against it, and we'll see what happens.
All right. So
That was
moving
super
on.
mature of you, Ann.
All right, so moving on, guys. I want to talk about the teams that made it out of the OQ. Mind blown, bro. It was EZG Blue,
Hey, don't sleep on Parzelian though, or however you say his name, dude.
EZG Blue and GGEA Orange. Now, first off, I want to say I'm happy
Orange
for-
deserves it.
I'm happy for both these teams. All right, congrats to
Right.
both these teams, and I want to say I'm especially happy for Orange.
They deserve it, dude.
I'm happy for
Those guys
bro.
deserve it. Those are how you should break in through the amateur scene. How
Dude,
they
I'm
did it.
Bro,
sweating.
they
I gotta
went-
get a shirt.
Go ahead. Bro, they went to Texas, I believe, and they all were there for I don't know how long. It had to be at least a month. And they grinded, bro. They watched film. They were just bonding. They're having a good time, and they got better. And dude, they achieved their goals. So like, bro, that is like a perfect story to me on how to break into the scene, how to get your shot. And I honestly believe they're gonna make it through relegation, bro. I really do. I think they've gotten like good practice, and I think they have the right mindset, and they're going about it the right way. So I think they're
Yeah.
gonna make it through.
I
I
agree
totally
with you.
agree.
Yeah, I
Yep.
definitely agree. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll be
I think-
surprised if they don't make it
Yeah,
through. Actually,
I mean, like, they've shown that they can do it. I mean, even just beating us at that Canadian tournament, like, they've shown that they have what it takes to be in the league and be at a pro team. I think it's just them getting over that little extra hump pretty much every time. Like, even at Champs last year, we played them second round of the winners bracket, and it was like we only won because we got a really fluky spawn on Scorch Hardpoint. So, like,
yeah.
and they stuck together and they've been grinding, and now they're got a chance to make the league just to like win 2 matches and they're in the league, and I think that team can do it. But onto the other team, so didn't this EZG Blue team form because like somebody got sketched on, like Swirly's team like broke up or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Do y'all
sure it was some sort of like I don't know the exact circumstances of their team.
It was Swirly, Cells, Nox, and their fourth
Evasion.
Yeah,
Evasion.
Evasion.
I know
right?
that team. Yes.
Yeah, right. And so then now on that EZG Blue team, right? That's that EZG Blue team now. It has Nox and Evasion on it, right?
Yeah.
And Cells and Swirly got dropped. Okay, so it has Nox, Evasion, Parzelian, and do you know who their fourth is?
I knew Nox, Evasion. I actually couldn't tell you the four. Is it Holler? I think it's Holler.
Oh,
No,
there's no
not
way it's Holler,
No,
dude.
that's not Holler.
All right, let me look it up.
Fastballer.
I'm sure somebody in the
Oh,
chat can tell us.
Fastballer?
Is it fastball? Here,
Oh,
I'll
no,
look
think
at
he got comebacked on. No, he was up
He
2-0
got-
to
yeah,
qualify.
Oh, Llama God,
He came
Llama
back
God,
on.
Llama God.
Llama.
Thank you,
yeah.
Brian, Coach Shane. Thank
Bro,
you.
so speaking about that, dude, that is mind blowing to me, dude. I am mind blown how they made it through, dude. Props to them. Doug, you said you know this team, so like you look pretty like flustered, like mind blown.
Yeah,
when you
that
said
team, that team, I have so much fire against those guys. We play them. So when I joined Lightning Pandas in the beginning, right? Like, I knew at Atlanta because I was gonna go to Atlanta with Mochilla, Nagafin, and Blast left for Era. And I knew Lightning Pandas was most likely going to pick me up after Atlanta, so I didn't even want to go to the event because there's no point in going if I'm going to play with a team I don't have confidence in.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a fourth. We're going to pick up a random guy. So I didn't go, and then I joined Lightning Pandas. And the first day I go to scrim with the team, royalties, PlayStation wouldn't let him on the server. I've never seen that before. I was like, all right, whatever, we'll just get on tomorrow. Next day, royalties internet is out for the whole day. I've never seen that before. Next day is the 2K. So now it's like we're getting some good practice. I love me the 2K. Like I love playing on 2K Saturday. So
Yeah.
we get into the 2K, we're going through the motions, winning the first round, the second round, the third round. Now we're getting into the harder rounds, like the pro point rounds. So we're playing against Nox, Evasion, Swarley, and whoever the fourth is. And
Cells, I think.
And Cells. Yeah,
Well,
so we end up
at the time cells, yeah.
so we play this team and we win the first map. I think we lost the search and destroy because we're a new team. We don't know search. We're going to play capture the flag. It's Ardennes Forest capture the flag. We're up 3-1. We're in a stalemate with a minute left. We're about to get the re, literally jumping on the flag to get the re to go up 4-1 with a minute left. And they're all spawning out. We got streaks. And Exotic lags out of the game. He got hit offline. So it changed us from getting the re to them killing us back bell with the flag, making it 3-2 and getting a counter cap to tie it 3-3. So we go into overtime, 3 versus 4, and we lose the map. And then we ended up losing. We lost a game 5 search on St. Marie when John got back on. So they took the win on us, and we couldn't get any practice at all because that was the last tournament before Birmingham. So our team really didn't get any good practice. And then I played this team on LAN. I looked them all in the eyes and didn't say a word to them and just cried them. I completely cried them, dude. I was so angry with those kids. I had to hold all my composure in and just channel it to form my final form. I went final form for that best of 5.
Yeah.
The 3-0, dude. I was so mad. So when I see that team qualify, props to them. They made it through, and I think there's something to be said when you do qualify because, you obviously had to play well if you beat all these teams. I do think the Deddies have something to do with it. I have no idea how Lightning Pandas. I played the Canadian circuit playoffs with Lightning Pandas, and we played against Parzillion and Nox and those guys, and we were laughing. We weren't even trying, and it was the easiest game. I'm not trying to roast those guys. I have nothing against Parzillion. I don't know him as a player, but we weren't trying in the quality. We beat them. We beat both the teams 3-0, 3-0, I think. So I don't know how. There's no way if they replace me with Enable, they lose to that team because they lost to those guys in I think the second round.
Yeah.
That's just not possible. So I think something needs to be said about the Deddies, and I really do feel bad for those guys because how does Lightning Pandas beat FaZe Clan at Birmingham, the team that wins playoffs, who beat all the best teams? They beat Optic, they beat LG, they beat all the best teams. How did they beat FaZe Clan and then they lose to a team they just beat yesterday?
The Deddies probably
it doesn't make sense to me, man.
No, I think Lightning Pandas definitely gets in if that was a LAN thing, but that's just the way it is. I think they've gotten way better with the online stuff. There's obviously way less, and it means way less. Pro points in the beginning, playing every GBs every day sucked, but now they mean nothing. For the pros
it's hard,
at least.
dude. It's always going to be an imperfect system when you're playing online. I definitely think there can be some tweaks to make it better, and they're always hearing us out and trying to fix it. So I think going into the next year, there's definitely a discussion that needs to be done about that. But I think it wasn't too bad this year. It's just kind of tough when you get that one chance and it's stripped away.
There's nothing you can do about ping, geographical location.
Right,
there's nothing other than dedicated servers, which end up being what you see here, where there's one in Cali, one in Dallas.
I do think though that there should be some sort of advantage for a higher seed, and if you're a higher seed, you should be able to have your own host. And I also do think that there should be a ref doing vetoes and stuff. But like I said, it's an imperfect system. It'll always be imperfect because it's online, and they try to make it the best that they can. And I think they're they're close to being the best that it can be, but it's not perfect, dude.
I just think the two things they could do differently is give the higher seed the advantage, picking if they want to host 3 maps or 2, and then definitely doing vetoes. Because if you're going to be playing veto system on LAN in the Pro League, then why aren't you playing it in the qualifier for the Pro League? Those are the two things, but you can't really change online. It is what it is. I agree with you on that.
But moving forward, who do you guys think is going to make it out of relegation?
Oh, Lord.
And I think this is going to be harder than predicting the pools, but I gotta say GGA Orange.
Yeah, you have to say them.
I gotta say EG.
I don't think so.
And the funny thing about the EG and GGA Orange thing is they play each other round 1. So I think both of them are make it out. But whoever makes it out, if they both make it out, one of them is making a loser's run to make it out. So you just have to win 2 matches before you lose twice. And I don't know. I think they'll both make it out. I can't really predict the other two. I want to say Mind Freak because I believe in them.
I was gonna say, you think Mind Freak makes it out?
I believe
Oh,
Mind Freak.
100%.
Mind Freak always pulls it up. They always pull it out.
Mind Freak is good, dude. Like,
Mind Freak is really
like
good,
after
yeah.
playing, I was in Division A with them. They're a good team. Everybody like.
A really good team.
I'll be honest. When I first played them, I was like, Mind Freak, free win. Now I'm playing Mind Freak. Like Shocks is filthy. Like if
Dude, it
Shocks
started
lived
with
in
me.
North America, Shocks would be on a top 5 team, in my personal
Yeah.
opinion. So
Whoa,
I
that's
think
a
Mind
bold
Freak
statement.
definitely makes it out. I think EG makes it out. GGA Orange, like I want to see them make it out. Like they're right there, but they just haven't not gotten over that hump yet. Like they're always there. They always make it out, but they just can't close it out for his top teams. But I do
They're
think
making it
that
out,
like
bro.
Nah, I definitely see
I
Mind
want
Freak
them
AG.
to,
I
but
agree.
yeah, Mind Freak EG 100%. I think. Well, how does it work? 2 from North America, 1 from
Oh, it's
Australia.
just the four
No, it's
four
just the
making
four.
out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think
No.
EG, Mind Freak. I think Vitality. I think I have faith in Whalers. I think Whalers are really good. And
Marky B too, right?
yeah, so now it's
Oh.
Marky B, Moose, Malls, and Whalers. So I think Whalers has always been good. You know, he performs versus everybody.
Well.
So yeah, that's horrible.
Not sick.
But
See, like, what's interesting
the
though is
fourth,
that
I mean, honestly, I feel like you got to put GJ Orange. I was thinking it's like 2 from NA, so I was saying.
no, but GGA Orange, the loser of GGA Orange and EG is gonna play Mind Freak most likely,
I
unless
mean,
if Mind.
here's the thing. Mind
Unless
Freak
Mind
plays
Freak won out.
EZG Blue, so I think Mind Freak takes that. And then they play the winner of Epsilon and Tainted Minds, and at that point, they're already qualified. So I think Mind Freak's making it through. EG plays GGA Orange. Obviously, I think whoever wins that match is going to make it out. I think whoever loses that, it's possibility they might not, but whoever wins that, I think, is definitely making it out because then they play Vitality or the EU OQ after. It's just kind of a tough matchup that they drew round 1. But Mind Freak has sort of an easier bracket, so I think that they're guaranteed to make it out, in my opinion.
I mean, if EZG Blue
pull up
beats
the
Mind
bracket,
Freak,
Yeah, pull it up,
if
please.
if EZG Blue beats Mind Freak, then they play Epsilon or Tainted Mind second round, and they could easily win that too to make the
Right,
league.
yeah.
You
There's
know,
gonna be
like
some happy people in that.
I think
in that
I
division.
think we're counting Epsilon too. Like Epsilon may not
Do you need
perform
it, or
well
do you have
versus
it?
the best
No, I
teams,
got it
but like
here.
they also have
Thank you.
talent. Like they took my team 6-5 last map. They should have beat us in Birmingham. So I think Epsilon's also being slept on. I think they have a good chance of making it out.
Yeah, it's just literally when it comes down to these teams, you've seen flashes of brilliance from all of them. Even Vitality, like you've seen Vitality play, like with their old four, play pretty well
But it
at
hasn't
certain
been-
points.
It hasn't been when they needed to play well.
Exactly,
Right, yeah.
exactly. And so
And they
that's why
need to play
every
well
one of
here.
these teams is like that.
But
Every
isn't
single
Vitality
one
a
of them.
brand new
that is-
team
that
now?
is true,
It's a
that is
completely
very
different
true.
team, right?
Like the teams, none of these teams have performed when they've needed to perform, other than GGA Orange, realistically.
Yep.
You know, like
I agree.
EG's a brand new team, so we can't say that about them. But like, the only team that performs under pressure, like decent, is GGA Orange. So
What about
I wanna-
EG though? They got top 8 at 2
I mean,
events. Silly's
yeah,
gotten top 6. GGA
No,
Orange,
that's why
best placing is top 24.
That's what I just said.
And
I don't know
all
about
these
EG
all
'cause
these
they're a
teams
team.
are mixes of players. Like
Yeah,
like
like looking at-
if we're looking at like the old teams, all of these teams are a lot different than what they are now.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at
Except for Mind
the
Freak,
bracket,
right?
I think EG comes out 2-0. They make it in. Mind Freak 2-0. They make it in. Now it's just between GGA, Vitality, and Epsilon, in my opinion. I mean, to be honest, I don't know much about Tainted Minds. I don't think any of us do. So it's hard for us to give
See,
like an
that's
actual
what I
opinion.
was gonna say. I think my four is Orange, EG, Mind Freak, and then Tainted Minds is gonna be the second APAC team to make it in.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so, dude.
Maybe-
Nobody's played has
Dude, you're
like
right. It could be, dude.
exactly, and they've been like competing for that second, third spot in the APAC region. And I honestly think like they play Epsilon, and then either they're like their counterparts in Mind Freak or EZG Blue. Which if EZG Blue plays that, like wins that match against Mind Freak, and then Tainted Minds just has to beat Epsilon and then EZG, like I think it's
Right.
possible, dude.
Okay.
I'm taking the
No,
I'm taking
yeah, I
the sleeper.
definitely, I agree. I agree with Clay. I think Tainted Minds does make it out.
Well, dude, I'm excited to watch that. But moving
Yeah.
on.
Wait, is it best of 3 or best of 5 though?
Fives. It's on land.
It's best of 5. Okay, yeah, I was okay, cool.
So moving on, we'll go to the 5 Fingers of Death. The first 5 Finger of Death was who makes that a relegation, so we kind of cover that. Now the second Finger of Death is which pro team is going to disappoint at CWL Seattle. We're going to start with Doug. You go first. Who's going to disappoint? Which pro team? And that means league team.
I'd have to say TK.
Oh,
Now,
damn.
So listen, the 5 fingers of death, you got to keep it 100% real, genuine, real, what you believe answers, and you don't have to elaborate. You can just give your answer. But Doug, I'll give you the option before I go down to Methodz. Where is he? Right there.
I think people are
he's
wanting to
right
say. I think people want to say Envy just because I think a lot of the scene doesn't have a lot of faith in the roster, and I think a lot of people have high expectations for TK to stay in that top 4. And I think there's a lot of pressure on you guys. Like Kenny, I think you're a beast. Zinni, I think you're a beast. I think your team has a lot of talent. I just think there's so much pressure on TK. They're in a tough pool. I could see them losing both those games, even though I have them coming out. I just think it's like the most competitive pool. So, I mean, if you're asking me who has like who would be the biggest disappointment, I wouldn't be as disappointed if Envy got like top 12 or top 16. Because
I see you. I see what you're saying.
like with TK, like I feel like if they don't get like at least top 6, that is a disappointment.
Yeah,
So if
definitely.
they get like top 8, top 12, or even top 16, top 20, then it's like whoa, like people are expecting TK to do really well.
I mean,
So
what do you guys have? You guys have 5 titles on one team, right? From this game?
there's so many
Wow,
championships
that's a
there.
stacked
So
team in terms of accolades.
yeah, so I think that like they have the biggest chance of having a disappointment because it is a brand new team. Like every team is a brand new team, but I think because they've had a history of winning, but it's their first time playing with each other, that if they don't perform well and there's a lot of pressure on them, that they would be the team that
Okay.
would be the big disappointment.
Well, I actually think they're gonna play good, so I'm not gonna go with them. I'm going with Envy, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But sounds like Kenny wants to talk.
Cool. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
want to talk.
Who do
Oh, you got
Yo,
that? You got this?
Yeah, I got this. I
All
got
right,
this. Yo.
wait. Now, let me get this real quick.
All right, go.
All right, I can't even say COL because I don't think anybody's expecting them to be good. Like, like honestly, like I just don't like everybody hypes up
brother.
Dashy, but like he played
Oh,
against
brother.
me, he had a .5. Last that kid's overhyped. Rick is good. I think Doug's improved a lot. When it comes to actually like the team I think's gonna disappoint, I think it's easy to say Envy.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say
right.
Rise.
I'm gonna. Oh, let's go. The duo thinks alike,
Bro,
bro.
and I think so you're saying Rise solely because of the fact if they don't win, they disappoint, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
making a
okay.
roster
That's
change?
what I'm gonna ask. Like, what do you mean by disappointing?
I think top 3 is good for Rise. Like it's hard to form a
Nah,
team.
if they don't win, they're disappointed, bro. The way Austin's been talking all year, and now to finally have teammates, he has Pierce, who's arguably the best player in the game at the moment. He has Looney, who's arguably one of the smartest players in the game, and he has. I'm drawing a blank here. Am I tripping? Oh, he has TJ, who's like the best search and destroy player in the game. Well, at times. If he doesn't win, if they don't win this event, then Austin's gonna be looking. He's gonna be looking silly. So I mean,
I feel like a lot of pressure is on TJ because TJ had a great Atlanta, but the next 2 events after he didn't play as good as everybody expected TJ to play.
Cost me $400 last night.
And I was on the team. like TJ is good, but like
I mean, you
he
saw
did
that
not
180.
play. Like, I mean, oh, that was tough to see. The standard he set at Atlanta, like that everybody put him at, was so hard for him to, I guess, keep up with. And
Yeah.
that's like one of my best friends. I'm not even trying to knock him. Like that's just
Yeah.
honestly how I feel.
So
I
we-
agree with you, Ant, except for the complexity thing, because you better watch out if we play you.
Oh.
So Doug went with.
Yo. Whoa, Doug, we're not losing to you. Nice try, Doug. Anyway,
All right, guys, settle the banter real quick. So Doug, who'd you go with? Just state it again.
TK.
So you went with TK. Methodz went with Rise. I went with Envy. And the reason I say Envy is just because I think that they made the worst roster change. All right. Now, Kenny, you sound like you want to say who you think's going to disappoint. So
what do you mean by disappoint though? Like, are they
who's
gonna
going
like?
to go to the event and get destroyed? Like, who's
Okay,
gonna be
so
the
like, I
bottom
want to
out of
say
this event?
Rise because everybody says Rise is gonna win the event just because of Austin, but I don't think they place T4 because everybody's putting them over us in T4, but I think we take the T4 spot as in like FaZe, Optic, LG, us. And I think that Rise is really good, honestly. I think they're really good, but like then again, like it does come with like the ego clash. But I don't think that like plays into the role into it. But like I want to say Envy, but I think Envy's gonna play better than like whatever I put in their standard at, I guess you could say. I think they place like is T6 like a disappointment?
No,
like
if
the
Envy
Envy
gets
roster?
T6, then that's better than like most of their
It's the
placings
best
throughout
placing.
this year.
Envy's only gotten 4th once, right?
Yeah, so I think if Envy gets T6, that's not too bad for that team, especially
Right.
for the expectations. But if they don't get top 8, I think that's a disappointment because you make a roster change to get
Right.
better. If you don't get better, that's
Okay, so then I want to say Rise then because like everybody's putting Rise as like the T1 team because of like how awesome they're playing this year, and I don't think that they even do that. Like, you mean-
I was the MVP for a reason.
All right, Clay. Who you think's gonna disappoint?
Alright, so
Keep it
I'm
up,
gonna
bro.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. I think honestly, so if you look at the Optic roster now, that exact Optic
Ooh.
roster.
Ooh,
I
hold
knew
on,
he was
listen,
going there. I knew he was going
listen.
there.
They've lost 2 grand finals from being in winners bracket, they've lost 2 grand finals from losers bracket to Attach and Zuma. 1 a best of 2 best 7s and 2 best of 5s.
Yeah.
I think that they haven't won a title in this game yet, and those 4 players are not happy with that, especially with how well they've been doing since that roster formed. I think they're at a I don't know anything, but they feel like this is about the time they're at a breaking point.
Yeah,
And
feels
just
like
losing
there's a
that
line in the sand.
losing that series at playoffs, like if they had won that, I wouldn't be saying this. But losing that series to both Attach and Zuma, who have done it to them before, I think that's like definitely factoring in. And I think if they don't place like top 3 or top 2 at Seattle, like I could see that team imploding. Like I genuinely think they're not happy, like at all. At all. Dude.
Wait,
Attach
I-
won't be
I
beating
don't-
them 5-5.
I think
think
if
Optics
Optic doesn't
could-
win, they make a change.
I think Optic's gonna win Seattle. That's my prediction. So I don't know.
I honestly
I
think
completely
that.
disagree with you on that one.
I mean, I just think that all of those players are they're like too reliant, like not reliant, but they're just winners. Like they all win. They've won so much that when they go and they don't win for what has it been, like 5 events in a row now since
Dude,
champs
they were
last
the
year?
best team at playoffs, so it's tough to say that. Like if they just because they've been in
Optic
this
should have won
situation before.
playoffs.
A lot of people don't know in IW they actually hated each other's guts at a point, and then they ended up winning. Like so, I don't know. It's tough to call if they don't
I
win
think they're
this event,
nasty.
though.
I'm not throwing shade at them. I don't
No,
think
I
that
know, I
like
know.
I'm not predicting that they're gonna do bad just because I like don't like them or think they're good. I think they're nasty, but I think if that team doesn't get top 3, then something's
breaking
gonna
up.
happen. Yeah,
If they-
something's gonna happen in there. Like
It has to. If they don't
That's
get
the
top
only
3,
thing.
there's going to be so much damage done that they're going to have to make a change. But we've talked about that so much. All right, so moving on to the next one, we still have 3 more fingers of death. So the third finger of death is. All right, who's the keyboard warrior?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
moving
I was
into the
going around the
third.
chat.
The third finger of death, we're going to go with who's going to get MVP at Seattle. We're going to start with Kenny this time. Just kind of tell me who you think's going to get it. And then, and it can't be yourself or anybody on your team.
Oh, what?
So listen. It can be a situation where you think you're gonna win, and who do you think would be the rightful MVP from the other team that you play? So just tell me who you think it's gonna be, not yourself or anybody on your team, and then give me like a really, really brief reason why, whether they've been playing well online or they have the fire or something like that. So go ahead first.
Okay, so like I did put Rise as a disappointment, but if they do play place good and we play them in like somebody plays them in finals, I think that Looney deserves the MVP. I think that Looney's like the key factor to like any Rise anything Rise does good. So when they play good, I think Looney makes like the most like best. I think Looney's the best sub in the game. That's just my opinion. So I think that like he gets MVP if like they play good, but if they don't play good, then I think that.
No, you got one answer. It's Looney, bro.
I got
Just
one
take it.
answer.
Yeah.
Looney. Okay,
Yeah.
then Looney. Then
All right.
yeah, Looney.
Moving on, Clay. Who do you think's gonna get MVP? And you don't have to give a reason, but a short reason if you got one.
Kenny.
Hey.
If they win it, Kenny's getting MVP.
Ooh. All right.
I'll
Doug.
take that, guys.
All right, Doug. What about you?
You have to go with Gunless. It's not even a question. Zinni, you robbed Gunless of MVP, and if he wins again, there's no way he's getting robbed 2 times.
The only reason Gunless deserved it over me was because he won the last Atlanta. My Search and Destroy single-handedly won me the MVP.
All right.
That's the only reason
Methodz.
I
Who you
won it.
going with?
But Pierce Respawn should have got it. Just depends who wins. Like there's
Pick
like
somebody.
if Rise wins Gunless, like if LG wins John, like there's a bunch of different. I'm gonna say John.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Krim, and I think because I said I think Optic's gonna win, and I think Krim's gonna go off. I think he has the fire, dude. He's
Especially in Seattle.
yeah, in Seattle. He I was talking to him earlier. He said he's actually like oddly excited to go home. I was like, why is that odd? But I think I think Krim is gonna go off. I think they're gonna win. That's who I got. All right, next the fourth finger of death is, does Doug, Censor Martin, finally make it out of pool play in this game? Doug,
Yes.
I ask you first.
You're asking me that question?
Yeah, answer, bro.
I put my heart and soul into Call of Duty, man.
That's
Of
what
course
I
I'm making
wanted
it out
to
of pool
hear.
play.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I don't
All
know
right.
anyone in the world besides for Pierce who dedicates more of their life to Call of Duty than me. Like, I'm not even guessing that. There's
What?
absolutely no chance that I'm not gonna make it out of pool play.
Yeah,
At least I don't want to give my team bad juju, but at least one event this year, absolutely.
okay. All right, Ant, who do you got, or what do you think? Excuse me.
I'll be honest. I was reading the chat. Can you repeat the question, please?
Does Doug finally make it out of pools?
This event, no. I
This
think.
year.
Oh, this
No,
year?
no,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. This event.
Oh, this event?
This
Yeah,
event, this
Seattle.
year, yeah. I respect the hell out of Doug because the guy can be making hundreds of thousands on YouTube, and instead he's choosing to play 8s in every series he can and just
Same.
grinding
I
COD
respect that.
instead of making that guaranteed money. You know, it's I definitely respect it. I just don't see that they're gonna have enough chemistry for this event, especially with who they're going up against. But we'll see.
Clay, what about you?
Yeah, we're talking all year, I think so. But for this event, no. Just for the exact same reasons that Methodz just said.
Kenny, what about you?
I say yes because I had them coming out their pool anyways.
Okay.
So like, yeah.
It kind of goes hand in. Yeah,
I'm playing against Clay. You can't really ask him
I'm
that.
gonna say no, but I think he will make it out this year. I think they're gonna have to learn a lot of this event as a team. It's been a quick turnaround with the roster change.
I think the league's gonna help
But,
them a lot, like the LAN practice and
yeah.
the constant matches. It's gonna help them a lot.
It's crazy how
Alright.
much better teams got after like their first 2 weeks in the league.
Yeah.
Everybody got
Well,
significantly
I
better
think it's
after
a
their
big
weeks.
reason why like we won Atlanta. Like we went on like a 7-win streak at the league, and then just carried that to.
Moving on
Atlanta.
to the fifth finger of death, the last one, the thumb. Which teams? Which teams do you guys see in the finals? Excluding, well, I guess you can include your team. You know, include your team. Who do you guys see yourself going against? We're gonna start with Clay this time. Who do you see yourself going against the finals?
I think it's gonna be us versus FAZE.
Ooh, storylines.
Storyline. FAZE is gonna be coming from losers though.
Okay, bet.
Oh.
Kenny, what about you?
I say us and Optic.
Okay, Doug.
I hate to do this, but I'm beating Crim again in 2 best-of-5s and Optics breaking up.
And then
I mean,
Doug's
Dude,
taking
that would
somebody's
be-
spot on Optic, dude.
If that happens, that will be the greatest call of all time.
The greatest
dude.
call of the moment ever,
dude, like straight up, dude.
Bro, if that happened, Optic would lose full.
Yeah, they really would.
Ant, what about you?
It's gotta be us versus Rise.
Ah, you're right.
Storylines.
You're right.
I'm
about
gonna
that.
say
It's gotta
it's
be.
gonna be Optic versus. Dude, I don't know, man.
He wants to say LG.
Optic-
I'm reading his mind.
Optic versus. Ah, man, I don't know. Red Reserve like came to my mind right away, just from losers.
So, Ant, what are you doing at Seattle? Are you on the desk or are you coaching or what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I will be at Seattle though, but I'm
You're gonna
doing
be there?
something. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing yet. Wink, wink. But I think you know what? I'm gonna say Optic and Rise are in the finals. I think those two teams are gonna make it through. All right, so that's gonna end the Five Fingers of Death segment. Now we're gonna move on to the last segment of the podcast, which is the hot seat, and the fans wanted Censor to be on it. So, Doug, I'm gonna ask you a few questions here, just like yes or no questions or one word answers, and it's gonna be really quick. So try to spew them out as fast as you can. Are you ready?
Go.
Favorite teammate?
That's slow.
On this game?
No, never.
All
ever.
time.
It's gotta be
Oh my
Zen.
goodness.
It's gotta be Zen.
Formal.
Least favorite teammate?
Mochilla.
Steve getting
Dude,
toasted.
Steve gets toasted
Oh,
on this
man.
podcast at least like one time each time. All right, most hated opponent.
Like the one that I hate the most?
The one you hate playing against, yeah. Or, yeah, hate playing against.
Crim 6.
Easiest opponent.
Oh shit!
Methodz.
Oh,
Oh,
I played you once and beat you 250 to 35.
Money or fame?
Fame.
Would you rather win champs or every other event throughout the year?
Win champs.
When you win champs, is this the team you will win champs with?
It has to be.
Oh, I guess that's a bad question. All right. At Seattle, over under top 8.
Over.
Over under top 3.
Over.
Oh, that's a bold statement, dude. All right, that's gonna do it for the hot seat. I couldn't really come up with any like too spicy of questions, but I think those were some solid answers out of Doug there. All right, and I want to do one last thing, and I have some questions from Twitter that I want to talk with the guys on here. Can't really pull them up this time, guys. I'm sorry. I got a lot of stuff in my OBS, but I am going to read them off to you. So React_X, he asks, the most annoying player to play against online. What do you guys think?
Zuma.
TJ.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a
Wait,
tough one.
Zuma or Priesta? Either one.
yeah,
Priest.
I forgot about
Priesta.
Priesta.
One
person,
Yeah,
one
Priesta,
person,
yeah,
one-
Priesta,
one
100%.
Either one.
Unanimous
It's Priest.
Priesta? Dude,
Unanimously Priest.
I'm going with Priesta number 1, Dashie number 2.
Dashie. No.
Dashie's
top
up
there.
5. Dashie's top
Dashie's up
5,
there.
but Zuma's worse than Dashie, dude.
I just think it's like
PJ's worse too.
I just think
That
it's,
is fair.
it's like when Dashie kills me, I just feel like disrespected.
You ever play on Triple Canada against Lightning Pandas? That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That-
All right, here we
Austin
go.
says it's Dashie and it's not even close.
Do you think? Okay, this is all right. Nitro_FA says, "Do you think FaZe will make a roster change after Seattle if they place terrible? Will Chris retire again? If so, who would they pick up?"
Impossible.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think they make a change no
I think
matter
it
what they
depends.
place.
Nah,
They
if
could not win a series and they won't make a change.
No, if
I
they
agree.
no, come on. There's no way. If they place like top 20, you think that they're gonna stick going into
Absolutely.
like this is like the last chance they have to make a roster change. I think that they're gonna do well, so I don't think it's gonna be necessary. But I think if they place like top 20, like you guys are saying, like if
They're
that
gonna
happens,
get Chris
they're
a
gonna
pass.
make a change.
If Chris is the scapegoat, he's getting the pass because of what he did last event.
I don't think Chris would even want to be on the team if they place top 20.
I disagree.
I wouldn't.
He wants to go to champs with that squad. He put in so much work. There's no way he's gonna just not want to play
Yeah.
champs.
I think
I
they're
know
sticking
Chris
together.
pretty well. I think they're sticking together regardless.
Moving on, Fad Hill Batfleck. He asked. He said, "Zini, are you gonna show Rise who's boss, or are there no hard feelings?"
I can't wait for this one.
I mean, if I play him, I mean, I'm gonna win. But I mean, like the hard feelings part, like I said, like TJ's still my really good friend. Like I won a championship with them. Like I respect those guys, so I think that I'll win because I think I gotta say I'm gonna win. Like
Yeah.
I can't sit here and say I'm gonna lose. So I like to play them really badly, but that's all I'm gonna say for now.
Okay, and another question for you guys from _James Lopez _. If EG do poorly this event, what will Patty P's future look like?
Well, we have to assume that they qualify first too, right?
Well,
Oh, no, they still could go to the event
I guess
regardless.
poorly would be their goal at this event is obviously to make it through relegation in S2, and then whatever happens from there, I guess happens. So if they don't make it through relegation, what does Patty P's future look like? I don't know.
I think he's gonna play as long as Call of Duty's around.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think he's just gonna keep grinding and keep playing.
But that's his problem though. He should be grinding more. You know, I feel like he doesn't play as much as some players do. And
He
I
did
think
have an issue with grinding. He did not play as much, and it's hard to like be the best player you could be when you're not grinding. So,
right.
I mean, I think he's going to keep on playing, and I think he'll bounce back no matter what, even if they do place poorly, because it's just the type of person he is. But we'll move on to the next question, and the last question is, Rippa Guns asks, #CODCAST. I have a local coming up. Nerves are starting to kick in. How do I keep calm and cool at LAN?
Yeah,
Use-
play like you're the only person in the venue.
Yeah, I guess
That's how you do
Kenny's a good person to ask because he was on the big stage for pretty much like the first time in a while in the beginning of
Yeah.
the year. So how was it for you? Like I know you got the nerves. We all still get them sometimes.
No, yeah, I get the nerves before matches all the time, but like once you get in like gunning, like you're just fine. But like I also like to play like I was told by somebody, I don't remember who, but like you just play like you're the only person in the venue, and just like you and your teammates. So like if you can just think that in your head while you play, it's like you don't get nerves in game.
I like that, Kenny. That's a good answer.
I think
That's
like I think you just gotta like think about like what you're actually doing. Like at the end of the day, like you're playing a
Playing a
video
game.
game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're skydiving. Like focus on what you got to do. Take a few deep breaths and just deal with it. Obviously, with experience, it's gonna get better and better. So at the end of the day, it's a video game.
Zinni, it's not
It's-
like you're
it's-
skydiving. What?
It's exact. No,
Yeah,
what
like,
he's trying to
it's
say,
exact-
like,
it's,
you,
No,
it's not like it's
I
that.
get it,
you
it's
break
just-
it. You break it down to like the most like basic thing. Like in reality, you're just moving a joystick and pressing buttons,
Yeah.
and like that's
against
it.
other humans. Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
playing against like
You're not doing some crazy thing like. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. It's like, you know, you got to take like 10 deep breaths. Like if you're really feeling nervous when you sit down, you like take 10 deep breaths, like regulate your breathing, regulate your heart rate, and you'll be all right.
Also, take a look around. What I used to do, and when I was like 17, is I would just look around, dude. Like I'd look over at them, I'd see one of them like their knee be shaking or something. I'd look over at my teammates, and I'd be like, bro, like this is like backyard basketball, dude. Like let's just win this. Like if we win, we win. Like this is. You're playing a video game. It's just like being at home and just do your thing, man. Just focus on the task at hand. Just zone in on your screen. Listen to your teammates and just be calm, man. Take some deep breaths and it'll all come naturally. Especially after you get like that first like map win, you'll feel so good, dude. You'll be so confident. But all right, that's gonna do it for all the segments we had, dude. thank you guys for coming on the show, bro. I think this is one of my favorite things to do is just talk to you guys. We do this in the Mumble like every other night anyways, so it's just fun to do it in front of a crowd and let them know like what's on our mind and stuff. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Hope you guys return in the future. You guys got any final statements to say?
TJ is absolutely horrible at the game. But hey,
that was fun, dude.
thanks for having us. I
Yep.
love that you started this up. It's always really fun to tune into, especially to be a part of. So thank you for taking the time out to do it, Ant.
Yeah. And thank you, Kenny, for coming up clutch last minute and taking Dylan's spot. Dylan, screw
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, no
can we
problem.
get a screw Dylan in the chat?
Bro,
man?
we
Come
had
on,
this
man.
ready.
Like,
We had this. Dude. All right, guys, just so you guys know, I had an actual like Word document of like topics and stuff, history between Dylan and Doug, history between Dylan and Clay. I had it all written out, dude. And I was pissed. Dude, you told me 30 minutes before. It's hard to be mad. It's hard to be mad at Dylan, but
As he's typing in the chat.
he said,
It's
"Good
hard-
job, attach."
it's hard to be mad. But it's all good, man. I think we did a good job. We made the best of the show. And
Yeah.
it was pretty entertaining. So.
Seriously, thanks, Ant, a lot. It's a good idea you got. I think
Yeah,
if you have it, keep doing it, man. I'll come on anytime you want me on.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. And it's also been nice for everybody to show me so much support, the community. You guys are all my friends. Like, obviously, I'm not in the league. It's the first time ever. And the amount of support that I've been given from the community for this podcast, even from you guys just coming on here, like taking the time out of your day, 2 days before the event, like not scrimming and taking the time out of your day to do this, I really do appreciate it. So I appreciate that, guys. But I'm going to
I appreciate you having me, Ant. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to mute out. I'm gonna talk to
Later,
the stream.
bro.
You guys have a good evening, man.
Peace.
What's up, man? Peace, guys.
Peace.
All right, guys. Okay, so I really enjoyed that episode right there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. No, don't give Dylan too much flack in the chat, dude. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. I basically just want to say thank you, guys. I appreciate the love that you guys have been giving me. This will be on YouTube at the end. After this, so like a few hours after, I will highlight it. I will upload it to YouTube, and I'm also gonna put the link to the iTunes, podcast in the description below. Let me end this Skype call. I'll put the link to the iTunes podcast in the description below the stream. And then I'm also going to be putting it on Spotify after episode 5. So we got 2 more episodes before it can be on Spotify. But if you guys do go to iTunes, when you look up the CODCAST on the podcast thing, it will look like this, that logo with my name. And you'll be able to listen